Welcome, everybody, to the Fermented Reality Beercast. It's 9:02, aka 8:32. It's right around there. We had a couple of issues. It's all good. We're episode 15 today, and we have guest Joey Redner coming in later, which we have promoted, which you may be watching for. He will be on at 9:30 p.m. In the meantime, let me kick it over to my boy, Denny Luce. Hello, Denny Luce. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Great. Are you drinking anything at this minute?
I am drinking something. I'm drinking.
We haven't even spoken about that, actually.
Yeah, we have. No. Yeah, I'm almost done with this beer right here. It's from Western Collective. This is a Boise local brewery. Called this beer is a hazy IPA called Peak Juice. Now this beer is a interesting one because it's a rebranded beer. They had a beer called Peekaboo Juice that was brewed before they had a new set of brewery director and brewers come in and change the recipe, and they made the mistake of keeping the old name with the new recipe. And I think that was I mentioned it before, that was a mistake. Yeah. Because when people have a beer and they're not all that into it, they will see it on the shelf and say, well, I don't want that. I didn't like that one. And I didn't really like Peekaboo Juice that much, but the new version I enjoyed much more. But they must have listened to our Taps of Craft episode where I talked about it, because now it's called Peak Juice instead of Peekaboo Juice.
All right.
That's a hazy, little hazy boy right there.
Listen, you could ask Joey that too, because they took this beer, Florida Man. As an Idaho guy, I'll educate you on something real quick. They had this awesome name for a beer called Florida Man many years ago, and it came as a bomber, which we had bomber discussion last week or the week before, right? It's a bomber beer, and it had a guy, a mug shot of a dude like with a mustache, and it was Florida Man. But it was always this really tongue scraping. It was a very polarizing IPA. Okay. Lots of love for people who like the tongue scraping double IPAs, but they've re-released this beer this year as a mass market double IPA, and it's like 8.2. Oh, Denny, it's 8.2. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Good. I was wondering if you opened that or not.
Denny, it's a really round beer. It's really well done. It's very easy to drink. It's I'll have to send some to you.
Yeah,
but to your point, right? Same beer name. A lot of people had maybe a bad experience with it, but they went with it, and that beer name is just magic.
I was one of them.
We put that on tap, it just flies.
I was one of them. I had definitely had that beer when it came in bombers, and I was definitely a little turned off to it. Now that it's packaged in cans, and it's probably one of my favorite double IPAs I can grab a hold of, especially locally.
Yeah, it's really good. What are you drinking right now, Kris?
Right now, I'm just finished up Blazed Orange. This double IPA brewed with oranges and vanilla. So I'm finishing that. That's gone. But I've got to move into, because it's appropriate for this evening, I got to move into a bottle of something from the El Catador Club.
Is it Charlie wine?
It is not. I'm all out of Charlie wine, buddy. I'm sorry. I drank all my Charlie wine. This is oh, come on.
Oh, Jesus.
Sacred Ceremonies. This is a cognac barrel-aged barley wine style ale.
Oh, nice. It is barley wine, though.
Sounds like it.
Do you have another one of those?
It's my favorite.
Do I what?
Do you have another one of those? Well, I think, Denny, I think the barley wine is Joey's favorite, too.
Oh, so is it?
I think we can have a barley wine conversation with him, too.
I have so much to talk to him about, because
he's a multi-boy. I told you, he's a multi-boy. You're a multi-boy. You guys will get along.
Yeah, so I'm pretty interested in drinking in this. Sipping on
I'm
this
going to be interested in seeing what you're like after you're done drinking that.
Well, look, there's no Mad Dog with it. There's no...
it might as well be
There's
Mad
no
Dog.
Margaritas with it. There's no...
Oh, you were going to go on making yourself look like a dummy.
It's so good.
See, it's a good drop. Good timing.
I love that. But, Dan, Tim, what are you guys drinking all the way down there in Jupiter, Florida?
That's a good question. What do you got, Dan?
All the way down here in Jupiter, Florida. Thanks, Kris.
You're welcome. From one planet to another. Yeah.
From one planet to another. I am actually, I brought a little bootleg Magnanimous back over to Jupiter. I ran it over in my 32 Ford on
Is that
Thursday.
the lager?
Yeah, that's the
That's
lager.
So good.
Drinking on.
Brecker beer.
This evening. Yeah, Becker beer. Thank you, Joel. It's
Brecker.
it's quite nice, and I know that Tim is very happy that our technical difficulties are behind us, and he is sipping on what, Tim?
I'm already down with the hops for the Divine. I already cashed that. That's empty.
Oh, that beer's good.
And then moved on to the what was it again? Say it for me, Joel.
Brecker's
Brecker beer.
Brecker beer.
Well,
Brecker
Brecker
1-9er.
It's
Brecker 1-9er.
I believe it's a Helles lager.
It's a solid beer.
Lager. So we're all magnanimous all the time over here right now. That's the report from Jupiter, both the city and the planet.
Right.
And were you able to stop on your way back at Magnanimous and pick up extra stuff, or
I was not. I made a beeline back.
Gotcha.
You got to watch out for the feds. So
I know. I'm good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna pick you up like a case of random stuff next time, so you don't have to go anywhere and you can just take it with you.
Yeah,
That's what I'll do.
Joel, I still haven't gone over there yet either.
Really?
Yeah.
We gotta. Yeah.
Disappointed.
We'll
Soon as
Sorry
the
to hear that.
playoffs are over.
playoffs.
Playoffs.
Well,
We're
we'll
talking
go
about
over
playoffs?
and we'll wrap and like we don't have to do anything official. We're not gonna do
You
like
mean
a day
the
drinking.
playoffs? The playoffs?
Oh, what a shirt!
Right.
Wow, that's for those listening and not watching. That's the Lightning logo on Chris's muscular
Garcia-
arm.
Garcia,
Musculature.
shirt too, huh?
Was
Look,
that a temporary tattoo? What was
Is
that?
this a temporary tattoo? No, it's right on my shirt.
It's henna.
It's henna. Yeah.
No,
I had it done at a street festival. It's totally
Very
badass.
nice.
It
Very
hurt
nice.
real bad.
And
Right?
And the braids in his hair.
None of the Alpine work.
No.
I'll fix it.
No.
So, anyway, no one asked, but I'm drinking Citra Ass Down because we were
Oh,
having
nice.
audio problems, and I was drinking Cigar City Seltzer in honor of Joseph Redner, but I needed something a little stronger.
You should have
so-
waited until he was on the air to drink that.
I will. Listen, it's still here. I'm still going to show it. In fact, I
So
hear
he-
he's in. I
so
hear
he
he
can
might
give
be
you crap.
invested with these boys too. I've got this other seltzer here, this Humble Bumble that maybe I'll. Here, let me talk about that real quick. So here, these are the guys from Humble Forager who make these ridiculous. Denny, have you had a milkshake smoothie yet? Like a sour?
I have.
Like it's like Jamba Juice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of these companies that does this from Wenatchee, Wisconsin, and they made a seltzer. I wouldn't call it smoothie, but boy, does it have a ton of fruit juice in it. I mean, it is like it drinks like a mimosa. It's got a lot of blood orange and
You
tangerine.
can
and
have it
this
for
and that.
breakfast.
Yeah.
You can have it for breakfast. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So let's see. How do we go here?
Go ahead with your barley wine.
Oh, it's going to be so nice.
Go ahead with your
that's
barley wine.
dark,
So-
too.
Well,
see.
it's going to be caramelly and toffee. It's hard to see because I'm sitting out here in the dark. So, you know.
You should put what's popping on lower.
Are you at your new place, Chris, or your old place?
Still at the old place.
Okay.
But this smells so good.
I'm
Hmm.
very
look-
jealous.
It looks a little darker than I'd expect, but shine a light
Well.
up to it.
Thank you. Yes, please. No, I'm serious. I'm with Denny. No,
Yeah,
don't even laugh,
because,
Denny. I want to see it. Can you see through it? No, you can't.
No,
Yeah, it
you
is
certainly
pretty
can't.
dark. Yeah, interesting.
Wow.
It's a lot darker than I'm used to seeing barley wines.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty dark, and I'm trying to shine it here like an
Yeah.
idiot. But, you know,
It's not working.
I'm nailing it.
Minute left. Third. 4 to 5.
There we go.
Time
Okay.
out, Boston.
It's getting
But yeah.
close.
It's definitely
Look at that
mahogany
power play.
color.
What's the score down there, boys? I hear you whispering.
It's a
Tell me.
5-4. Boston.
Minute
Oh.
left.
Down by 1 with a minute and 6 left.
I'm telling
Good
you.
segue. Good segue to fermented sports, Joel.
Yeah, please, because I
Excellent
really
segue.
I really would like New York to win. By the way,
Excellent
as
segue
part of
to-
fermented
to,
sports.
Fermented sports.
So fermented sports with Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels. What do you got for us this week?
Hey, here we are. Thanks, Joel. Appreciate that. Yeah, on fermented sports, the sports you got to be fermented to pay attention to. That's it. Here's the report. Viral moments for this week. Did you guys catch that PGA golfer John Rahm? Anybody know
No.
about John Rahm?
No. What did I
So
miss?
John Rahm elected not to have the vaccine, so he's been playing on the PGA Tour, and one of the requirements is you have to have a COVID test every day. So he was playing in the Memorial Tournament this weekend. He was leading the tournament on Saturday by 7 strokes, which is
Tell me he
pretty
has
much
COVID.
a lock. Pretty much a lock. He walks off the course on Saturday afternoon. They tell him his test that he took in the morning was positive, and he is off the course and therefore forfeits. And the purse for the memorial tournament was $1.9 million.
How much does it take for you to put a needle in your arm?
So
$1.9 million. Yes, please.
you know, that is a pretty viral moment. If you watched it on TV, his knees got weak, literally, when the guy told him.
Oh, I bet.
The news, because they had the cameras on him when that actually happened.
And I'm sorry to be ignorant. Which golf tournament is this?
Yeah, the memorial tournament.
But is it like the Met? Like, I'm sorry.
It's a PGA.
So
it's a major.
It's a sanctioned PGA.
It's a sanctioned PGA event. If you have the vaccine, no test. But if you do not, which he chose not to, it's everyone's personal choice. It is what it is.
Sure.
You have to take a test every day, and he was leading by 7 strokes on Saturday again, and he walked off the 18th green, and they informed him.
Wait a minute.
That he
There's
had
consequences to my actions.
The question is, what happens if it's a false positive?
Well, then you should have gotten the fucking vaccine.
But he's already done. So that's a little bit of viral sports. How about moving on? Did you see?
Hey, how much is the NFT of his knee shaking when they delivered him the news? What's the NFT for that? Sorry, I had to, Dan. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Live update on the Boston game here. They just Islanders closed it out 5-4.
Islanders, closed it out 5-4. They're now up 3-2 in the series.
Yeah. All right.
In Boston. So taking it back to which leads me to another topic as is regarding NHL. Did you guys see the hit that Jake Evans put on?
No, that was the one on Jake Evans actually from what was his name?
Mark
Shile.
Yeah.
Was that the?
Got 4-game suspension on that.
Yeah, you want to share that, Chris? Yeah, you got that.
Chris, show that.
It's in the
if I can pull that up.
Episode notes.
Is it too soon to put the Friday you got knocked the fuck out?
Chris, I would put in I don't know NHL playoffs major.
Well, I mean,
hit.
Wow.
It was sad to know that he really was down on the ice for that long.
Dude, he got hit really fucking hard. I'll tell you what, I like the whole thing. I agree with. When you watch this play, it is whoa. I mean, I know hockey's
wasn't
a
he
brutal
playing
sport.
for the Avalanche?
No. It's both the Canadian teams. It's
the Jets,
Montreal Jets and the Canucks or the Canadians.
God, what was that guy's name? NHL playoffs.
It's in the
last name is
Major. Major hit.
Scheifele. Scheifele. Or something. Mark Scheifele and Jake Evans.
Oh, Mark Scheifele suspended 4 games for hit on Jake Evans.
Yes. That's the hit we want to see.
Dude, and actually,
just for people who haven't seen enough, because it's worse than
while Kris is bringing that up, let's talk about the last topic here on Viral Sports Moment, and that's the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight that happened down in Miami at the Dolphin Stadium, right?
Yeah, he was wearing an Ethereum shirt.
And really, the question that I want to ask you is: has professional boxing really become wrestling?
Yeah, WWE.
Because you
think it's a show.
Back in the day when we watched wrestling, we were watching, and Joel and I recently the other day were watching the Mike Tyson documentary, which is pretty interesting actually.
Badass.
We watched the first part of it, and I would venture to say that boxing today is nowhere near what it was back in the day when Mike Tyson and Holyfield and all those guys were boxing.
Dude, Mike Tyson bit a man's ear. He was
so
dedicated
it's
to
much
the sport.
more.
Tim, it's way deeper than that, man. Mike Tyson was knocking. Mike Tyson was a fucking. He obliterated people in a way that no one ever did before. He was explosive.
I watched a lot of HBO late night.
I bet you did.
As it was flipping through, was it the one that was rolling? Like you had to catch it?
Here we go.
Here's the hit.
Skinamax.
So in this hit's just all about how long this guy has to decide not to hit, and then he nails him.
Now watch the way the other player protects him, though. That was another big moment that
was
everybody was
skipping
talking
for me.
about.
Is that skipping for anybody else?
Doesn't even matter, even when it's skipping. It looks
He's
like
got
a
all
bad
this
hit.
time. The guy's going. He wraps around the back of the net, and he's got a decision to not level this fucking guy. And oh my god.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's rare that I listen to I'll read paragraph or like a title that's almost like clickbait article from the news, that says it was a predatory hit on Jake Evans.
They both went airborne.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much.
Listen, calling it predatory is a weird word, but predatory aside, he got knocked out before he hit the ice.
There was no intention for him to put a stick down to hit the puck. It was all about drilling that kid. That was why he got suspended for 4 games.
He got suspended for 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the rules on?
So Denny,
I think it was the fact that he is defenseless. Like he's looking.
You're not supposed to be hitting people in the head, period, Denny.
Well,
so there's this whole.
Yeah, but it hit him square.
It was also about the fact that he didn't use his.
He wasn't
stick
going
towards
after the puck.
Yeah, exactly. He was not going after the puck.
The stick wasn't even on the ground.
It's hockey.
And that's why you'll see those
fans
guys
wanna
slam
see
the
it hit.
sticks down though. You ever seen them how they'll slam the stick down, like they'll turn around, they won't even look. They'll just jack that thing down because they can't get penalized as long as they're going for the puck. You know what I mean? If the dude gets hit by the stick, that's his problem, I guess. I mean, I don't. NHL is
Denny,
pretty badass.
Denny, you're not wrong, but it's kind of like the NFL. Like after the play's done, they've got this rule, right? Like you can't hit people after the play's done, and it was a little bit of that is kind of what went on there. And he didn't make a play for the puck at all, which you do kind of have to make a play for the puck. That's a thing too. You can't just go around fucking leveling people. Like that's not the way the game works. I understand it's a part of the game, but that's not the object of the game, right?
Any
so there's
hockey
this whole
player
like
still has his teeth is not a good hockey player.
even the not good ones don't have their teeth. I'll tell you what, that's funny.
Hockey players are relatively low paid though in terms of other major sports, aren't they? I mean, for the amount of abuse their bodies probably take. I mean, they make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure some of these guys are doing just fine, but you know what I mean. Like as opposed to like a baseball player that he'll get a splinter in his finger and he'll sit on the bench for 12 weeks. And he's getting paid like $12 million a year. These guys are getting like
and the basketball players do it too.
A season.
There's a reason that Matt, what's his name, can't step foot in Philadelphia.
So what do you guys think of the, just closing it out on Fermented Sports, tell me about the Mayweather-Logan. I mean, listen, these guys, they went to Miami Stadium. They had a fight. It went 8 rounds. There was no knockout.
Okay.
Both of them had parties before this. Logan Paul, the guy comes out with like a robot or some light show or something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we're going the route of is the professional boxing in a place right now where it's going to WWE and wrestling, or are we going to get back to? I mean, can anybody name the heavyweight? Can anyone name the heavyweight champion of the world right now? Who is the heavyweight champion of the world?
No idea.
Anyone know?
That's a great point.
Admittedly,
Danny, do you know who it is?
Don't
Kris?
Don't care.
But
not a clue. It's probably some no-name guy.
UFC sort of overshadows boxing at this point in terms of like the pop culture.
I agree.
People want the violence.
That's what people are talking about, and that's what people are looking at. And I mean, I think boxing still has its major core, fan base, but I think UFC has definitely overshadowed it in terms of that. And that's probably
Tyson
why nobody
Fury
knows who it is. Who is it?
Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
I
Tyson Fury,
I do know that
champion
name.
of the world.
All right.
You know what? And note for the next production round, we need to have the feature where you can ask Siri. You can say, "Hey Siri, who is the heavyweight champion of the world?" And then it answers through the.
I think that might work. Let's see.
Can we put Siri through our?
Let's try it. No, let's try it.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know if that'll work though. I really don't.
Tim, I would
Let's
like
try
that. That's a good one.
Okay. Anyway, here we go.
Siri?
So Fermented Sports is done.
Fermented Sports is closed. We're looking at the Milwaukee-Brooklyn game. Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks on TNT. We got some parlay bets going on that. You can always check in with us at fermentedbets.com.
Heavyweight champion of the world is the debut single of English band Reverend and the Makers, as well as the first single from their debut album, The State of Things. Would you like
so
to
even
hear
when
more?
Siri fucks up, we have to listen to her?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Siri.
Right back at ya.
Oh.
No, fuck off.
She's a feisty bitch.
I like her a lot. And that's
South
Big
African
Dan
voice.
Charlie reporting on Fermented Sports.
Oh,
Tim, what accent is that?
That's
What do you
the
have her
South
on?
African.
Oh, I do the
He's down
Australian
for the
guy.
South African.
you would, Joel.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, he's the best. Ready? What's the Islanders score?
Yeah, he sucks.
He sucks. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Thank you for
Wait,
that.
I'm on mute. I'm on mute. Wait. All right. What is the Boston Bruins score?
You're fired, mate.
Hey Siri.
Apparently so.
What's up?
All right. Well, we got like 8 more minutes before we bring our special guest on, Joey Redner. So, you want to spend a few minutes going through Tim's question session? Be a good time for that segment.
Yeah, somebody could spell that word. That'd be great, actually. How do you spell that?
Tim, do you have a question?
I do have a question.
Here, wait,
question?
We have to get the
question session.
This might be the question session.
Tim, do you have the drop or no?
No, I do not have a drop. I apologize for that, but I do have a question. So let's
Sounds
see this.
very like I feel like you should be by a fire in a with a pipe. And,
I got a question. Oh, I knew that drop. Yeah. All right. So,
why is the beer garden always pressing me?
Have any of you, or have you met anyone that's used what's called NAC in order to prevent any kind of liver damage while working within the alcohol industry, like bars, bar owners, nightclub owners?
Using what?
NaCl? Is that NaCl?
I tore my NaCl.
As in salt?
It's called NAC.
I tore my NaCl.
I put it in the show notes. Now I don't know if you can. I cannot try to even pronounce this, so I'm going to ask Siri to do that.
Tetrahydrochloroquine.
Don't ask Siri to do things.
Oh, I'm bitch. Get to work.
She no good.
Siri, what is NAC?
Acetylcysteine, also known as N-acetylcysteine, is a medication that is used to treat paracetamol overdose and to loosen thick mucus in individuals with chronic bronchopulmonary disorders like pneumonia and bronchitis.
Now,
she does sound like Elon Musk's mother.
That being said, they use it for acetopamine overdose a lot in hospitals. Now, people take too much Tylenol. They say take 4 in 24 hours. Somebody takes 12 because they're like, fuck it. What do you know? I can handle it. And then they actually have to go to the hospital for an overdose. They'll take that. Now, they take that in order to prevent the liver damage that would be occurred by too much acetopamine. Now, what I was hearing is that a lot of guys that, or women too, that own vineyards or bars or work in the alcohol industry and they're constantly at tastings, or they're constantly at bars, or they're constantly at places where they're drinking. And it's not so much that they want to drink every day, but it just happens to be the thing that they do for a profession, and they're around it constantly. So I was curious if anybody actually tried it, because it's supposed to prevent like a tremendous amount of liver damage. I mean, it's supposed to make your liver
hangovers.
And hangovers as well. Yeah, it's supposed to prevent hangovers.
What?
So if you're
Can you tell me what it is? Is it a nootropic? Is it a?
It wasn't
Joel's like this. Can you spell that again?
No.
Well, no.
Quite honestly,
like Joe Rogan talks about these things called nootropics, NOOTR. Like it's this whole different class of like, what is this thing? Is it a nutrient? Is it a
Kris,
drug?
You can bring it
is
up on
it
the screen. It's called. You could probably just Google it. NAC, alcohol, liver damage. Now it's mostly used, like I said, for different things, but its ability to prevent hangovers and liver damage associated with alcohol. They've even considered making alcohol that has NAC in it, but they can't get it approved right now, obviously for so many reasons, because you could have it as an active ingredient within the alcoholic drink. It'll still get you drunk. You'll have no liver damage, and you'll have no hangover. I mean, that's like...
Ooh, clinical trials.
That's like an edible.
So it's a really cool,
it's like an edible.
Really cool concept. Yeah, it's a really neat, different, and I've been wanting to talk about it for a couple episodes, but I really haven't dived into it. So I did a little bit of research on it, and I kind of looked into it. And I mean, again, it's not being recommended. So this is not a recommendation for people to ask their doctor to use NAC.
Not Dr.
There's a
Dr. Tim.
Hashtag not a doctor.
Not your doctor.
But the fact is that there's a lot of research and development being done currently on this to see what its effects could be on even per se, we'll say, treatment for alcoholics. Because, if you know someone's going to go home and drink, regardless of what you tell them to do, maybe you can prescribe them something that will prevent the damage that will, kill them essentially in a short term. So it is interesting to see where that might go in terms of it being even a consumable, product at some point.
This segment is not endorsed nor paid for by any pharmaceutical company that manufactures NAC or any affiliate of such.
So it's an
company.
antioxidant available over the counter, targets glutamate receptors and may restore glutamate homeostasis. So sugar balance associated
over the
with
counter. So what? So where do you go? You go. Let me get some acetylcysteine.
Yep. Now,
So
actually,
this was
no,
back
I
in
think it's been-
2018 as well.
it's been-
Yo,
hold
let
on.
me get some acid Tyson
On
lean,
that
dog. I'm
topic,
getting
no, this is-
fucked up tonight.
When y'all gonna
actually
stop
relative.
acting like an asshole?
No, I mean,
Never.
Yeah, never.
Did not affect marijuana consumption. Sweet.
Hey,
You're gonna go out
dog.
making yourself look like a dummy.
so no, it is an interesting concept. I mean, to think about that, they could put that into a drink, and it would prevent all the.
But it
bad
says,
things
if
that
you
happen.
bring that link back up, it says that it actually it stops you from drinking.
Yes, it's supposed to
Well, who
almost
wants
prevent you
that?
from getting drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, wait a minute.
No. Well, no, but that's the thing is if you're working within the profession and
So
you
you're trying to
almost have an
metabolize the alcohol as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You're trying to be able to drink, stay up to function, but also not get too drunk or hungover in the same aspect,
Yeah.
and not have liver damage, and still be able to stay in the industry for a long period of time.
All jokes aside, as a former bottle shop owner, that would have come in really handy because I was trying a lot of beers on a lot of days, and
Yeah. And
something
I
like
said,
that would have been great.
Where I learned that from was, like I said, it was a vineyard owner that was talking about it on a podcast.
He
so,
learned it.
Yeah, I learned it.
I learned it from some guy. He had a wine yard, and in that wine yard, he had to drink himself a lot of wine. So he done said that if he drinks this NAC, that he doesn't get none drunk, and his wife is very happy.
helps with your ABV. That's what he says.
And then I go home and I have a steak and I put some NaCl on it, and it is delicious.
Gets rid of that muscle pain real
Put a little
fast.
NAC on my peanut butter.
All right, let me get Mr. Redner. I'm gonna text him and tell him. I already gave him the.
You got the Zoom number
code.
for him?
Yeah, I gave him the code and everything earlier. He's prepared. He might even be listening live. Let's
Oh
see.
no.
Do you see him on there, Chris?
No, not
I
yet.
bet you know.
By the way, talking of listening live, it was interesting. Like Joel and I are out and about, and we're talking to people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we listen to your podcast," and I'm like,
Oh boy.
"Holy fuck, you listening to the podcast?"
I'm not laughing.
Like on purpose,
I'm
or?
not, listen, the guy in the wolf mask, he's a crazy person.
Oh,
I
that
don't know who
picture
the
popped
fuck
up
that
the other
guy
day
is.
for me. I was looking through photos, and the
Dennis.
first time I meet Dan,
Someone
he's just,
literally told me, like almost with like air quotes, like, "Yeah, it's a work in progress." Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Was that
okay.
recently?
Oh, very recently.
yesterday. You know?
Well, Denny, I mean, listen, it all just depends on which episode you listen to. Because
Yeah.
I think that the first episode was fine, and then I think that episode, I'll pick it out of the air because I don't listen to them back to back to back all the time. Episode 7 sucked, or episode 8 and wasn't that great, or whatever it was. Because
It was
we're
just a
early.
realization that other people are listening, because when I do these things, I am a one and
It's
done
just
guy.
a simple realization that other people are listening. That
I
Dan,
do this, and then I never listen to these things again.
No, I'm the opposite of Dan. Dan never listens to
And
the
then
podcast.
Tim tells me things that happen in it, and I'm like, "Oh, really? That they left that in,
Well, the reason is
or they
that
left that out?" Like I am a one and done person. This is gone. It's a fleeting moment for me.
our conversations become such a degeneration of human evolution that I almost want to go back to see what Denny allows into the podcast as opposed to what actually gets. No, that's my favorite part. Is I'm like, God, good for you, Denny. That one made it. I like it. I'm always surprised by what actually gets made into the cut because we say a lot of stupid shit.
So the point
I know, but Denny's not
Go
getting. Go
The
ahead.
point that I'm bringing home is the fact that there are more people listening to this than I actually thought. So
Yeah.
I'm now
Well, especially when we have guests.
Now I'm now starting to refrain and retain myself, and I'm gonna only have to bring Woofy in on special guests. assignments.
The guest has a whole new reason. The guest has a whole new reason to promote the show, so we naturally get a different audience because they're like, "Hey, Ken was not Dr. Ken Fouch was definitely saying to people like, "Hey, I'm going to be on a Beercast tonight. You should listen," like because they think we're professional. I don't know why.
Boy, are they surprised when they get
but
on.
I
Holy
like
shit.
Dr. Ken Fouch, man. He gave us like an hour and a half. Like
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
not in a rush to get off. He was
Not
happy to
Dr.
talk,
Ken
hang
Fouch.
out.
Not
Yeah,
Dr. Ken
not
Fouch.
Dr. Ken Fouch.
We just went golfing with Dr. Ken Fouch the
And I
other
was
day.
going to tell you that he is the head of the CBC, right? Coppertail Brewing Company, right?
Let's
He
not,
is the
let's
COO.
not
He
do
is
that.
the COO of the CBC, not Dr. Ken Fouch. I can't, listen, this is
CBC.
gold.
I did-
This is gold.
You can't
people.
make this shit up, guys.
This is gold.
On that topic on the show notes.
I told you I want to be a writer.
Can we go to that on
What?
the show notes?
What's
what you
that?
guys did?
What?
I'm sorry.
Ray James?
What about Raymond James?
I'm sorry, we're about to have a special guest. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, we can still listen. Joey didn't join yet, so Raymond James. Dan and I were lucky enough to go to Raymond James to do a Top Golf event where they set up a.
Oh, you guys did that?
They set up a whole system in the stadium. It was pretty cool. So we were hitting 9-iron pitch and a sand, and I was terrible. And you know, no offense to Kent Bailey, love you, Kent Bailey, but you know he wasn't that great either. And then Dan did pretty good. And then this other guy was the ringer. But he did get his picture taken,
like backswing when his company logo is going around AJ Stadium.
Where's the? Yeah,
which is pretty awesome.
So they paid for
because they are a corporate sponsor now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they are going to have a bar inside.
Look at this guy.
Nice.
Look at this guy. That's
guy.
That's Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels right there.
There he is.
You know, listen.
That is not Charlie.
It is. There's Charlie Daniels. Here's Kent Bailey. Here, let me see if I can zoom in on the branding in the background a little bit. You can't see it. It's on the at finger height, right? Yes. The crawl around the stadium is his logo. Not Dr. Kent.
Yeah, they were very gracious enough to invite Joel and I with Kent and not Dr. Ken Fouch over there, as well as their liaison to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a young lady, I forget her name, but she was very nice.
She was here.
And so we hit golf balls in the stadium, like top golf.
So they set up these markers like Top Golf, and then there's this tracker up top, like a satellite.
Off of, like the second floor,
that is wild, man.
It was totally wild. So they track you, and they gave.
And then they were able to give us a nice little tour of the stadium where we got to see the locker room and things of that nature. So it was awesome, and we're looking forward to the partnership with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Coppertail. And just to give a little leak out for us, I think we're actually going to be at the Beer Garden, one of very few people that are going to be able to promo the Coppertail branded can. It's going to be in the creamsicle can. And what is the name of the beer they're rebranding for that?
So it's the Florida Special, and it's being done in original Buccaneers colors instead of current colors, which Denny, if you didn't know, the creamsicle.
Yeah.
The creamsicle. So we're going to be featuring buckets at Fermented Reality Beer Garden during Buccaneers games, specifically of Florida Special creamsicle color. It's a delicious lager, by the way. It's a low ABV crusher. It's very, very good. Florida
Basically,
Special.
Joel and I want to shoot the T-shirt cannon off of the boat, really.
It's a little bit of that.
We got to push some of this.
Do you want me to put the drone
Get
up
down
in
to
the
the
air
beer
or what?
garden and buy it. They'll shoot it down.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's insured. Let's do it.
Okay. Since we're waiting for Joey, I might take a quick break.
Yeah, go ahead. I said,
break.
and I just said to him, like, whenever's cool for you. So that just, I didn't want him to.
We're gonna have some papadilla.
Yeah, is it here?
Go ahead, Denny. Denny, take a break. Go take a pee. Go get a beer. Do whatever you got to do, bud.
I'm gonna do a food review. Do a food review on the papadilla. One bite. You know the rules.
Make it a good bite, though. Wait, where is it?
No, we don't have a fucking papadilla here. Tim doesn't think ahead. He can barely get the fucking soundboard working that I paid $2,000 for.
You're fucking fired, Tim.
Let alone order me a papadilla. All right. I mean, let's not overwhelm the guy.
Come on,
so
man,
we can fire Tim again?
For you, you're all good to go.
This is one of the episodes where we fire Tim?
No, I was just kidding.
I was hoping we could make that just a
It was happening like it was in a row until it wasn't.
He doesn't like that, though. He got his shit together quick. I knew that's why.
That's fine. That's why we did it. We fired him sequentially so that he could get his shit together.
Exactly. It was important. I liked it.
I liked it. Made me feel good. I was happy about it.
The board looks good on camera, too.
It sure does. It's sexy. I'll give it that much. The board.
What?
The board. Yeah, you see how I caught that?
So listen, sometime between now and the next episode, Danny, let's schedule time with Tim, like put it on his fucking calendar, and I'll sit down and we'll hash this whole thing out. We'll make everything work on the.
Off air?
No, we're always live on Facebook, but we're off air like to the
stop.
point where Denny's going to cut this out of the final.
Gotcha. Well, since we're live on Facebook, we'll talk about that off air.
All right.
Nate.
But we've got to set up. We can get the background together, Joel, and make sure that we're all good with that, and we can be ready to go.
Should we put these cups in the background? Should we just have a wall of cups?
A wall of cups.
You said the background. I've got a background right here. Like, look.
Well, I would think it'd be a black background with, some type of logo there for sure.
Fine. Put a logo there instead. Kris, what are you doing? Crawling over space. I feel like I'm watching Interstellar. Murph!
I'm making a big prediction here. I think Brooklyn Nets take the NBA title.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they play in Brooklyn now? They're out of New Jersey? Everybody fucking leaves New Jersey, dude.
Brooklyn's not New Jersey, Joel. But,
it's the Nets. It was the New Jersey Nets.
New York,
but now it's the Brooklyn Nets.
That's why I'm asking. Do they actually play in Brooklyn? Because half these fucking New York teams play in New Jersey still.
You don't have the...
Because the Giants don't play in New Jersey and the Jets don't play in New Jersey?
Hova, H-O-V.
Hova?
Or like a big pimp.
Yeah, it's Jay-Z.
He sold his interest, actually.
In Hova?
Look that up. No, in the Brooklyn Nets.
Hey, Jay-Z, how's Tidal going? You fucking idiot. Sorry. Anybody know what Tidal is? Exactly
What are you doing?
Whoa. Sorry.
Leave that up. Stop clicking
I was trying to do something. You wanted something.
No.
All right, fuck it. I'll just leave it.
Oh, boy.
My work. It's easy. Just watch. Ooh,
so, boys, Denny,
Brooklyn
give us the update of what's
destroyed.
going on out there, bud. Let's get the update. Let's move on while we're waiting for our special guest here. Give us the update in Idaho.
Oh, he wants me to send him a link. That's funny.
It's been very warm. We had a we had some high, all-time highs here in this early in the summer, over 100 degrees.
What?
Over 100? Triple digits?
Yeah, triple digits in Boise. So yeah, it's been a little hot, but I'm not dying. I'm still here. But now it calmed down. It was only 81 today. We went from like 100 to 90 to 80s, 81 now. So it's
now, do people do what they do in Florida, in Idaho, when it gets warmer out? They start switching to the lighter beers.
So you know what? That's a good question because people do that. I don't do it. I mean,
I don't go into the sours and
they go for the refreshing things. Maybe some. I mean, I'll drink lagers all year round, but do I prefer to drink a lager when I'm coming in or outside in 100-degree weather? Of course I do, because it refreshes me. But do I also enjoy sipping on a stout in that 100-degree weather? Of course I do, because I enjoy the beer, right? So to me, it doesn't matter. But there were several people. It's just funny you mentioned that, because last week I had several different people that mentioned that, oh, it's so hot. I only want light things, and nothing hot, nothing dark. And I'm like, right. and I did drink some light things. So we went out a couple times to different breweries last week. One night, Thursday night I think it was, I went out and I started with a Mexican lager. Then I went to a hazy IPA, and then I went to the Irish Red, and then went to the Irish Stout. So I kind of went up, started easy and worked my way up to the Irish Stout. And you know what? My favorite beer was that Irish Stout. I mean, that was just
dry Irish Stout.
High Irish Stout, yeah, very good.
Shit's the best.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Now let me ask you, Denny.
All right, here we go. You guys ready?
It's a different altitude in Idaho than it is in Florida, obviously. Yeah. We're a little bit closer to the sea.
The sun.
It was a young picture.
Not the sun, the sea. So, do you think that has some type of impact when, this light switch happens and they switch from light to dark? I mean, do you think that do you think that the relation to how the CO2 actually affects, in your bloodstream? No, I'm serious. It's a little scientific, you know what I mean?
We're not here in Boise because we're about 1,600 feet above sea level, so we're not that high. It's not really affected. But yeah, maybe in Colorado when you're at Mile High Club.
Oh my God, I got bombed when I was in Colorado. I drank like 2 beers and I was like, wow, I'm feeling great. And then the next day I'm in the salon getting IV, oxygen, breath oxygen.
We went to Breckenridge. It was the same thing. It's another mile in the air.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
oh my God,
what happened?
I was dying up there. I had 1 beer and I was dead. Hi, Joseph Redner.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you, buddy?
Good, man.
Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, likewise. Thanks for having me.
There you go, Tim. I'm so proud of you.
We got a sound
Nailed
guy. We
that
got a soundboard. Yeah, it's very good,
Boom.
Timmy. Thank you. So, Joey, you haven't met everybody here. So in the dark room there is Tim and Dan. Dan's my business partner, who you may or may not have met before. Tim is his cohort. Kris McKenzie lives here in Tampa. He's a fanboy. Denny lives
just immensely, right? I can't even get my camera shit straight.
So Denny's over in Idaho, and he's never heard of you. So it's a refreshing crew. It's a refreshing crew of people here who all have some, easy softball questions for you. And what I want to do is I want to lead it out with Denny, with the guy who has no idea who the hell you are, so that just in case we do have listeners here who don't know who you are, Denny's gonna intro us. So go ahead, Denny.
All right. Hey, Joey. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Denny.
As Joe already mentioned, I'm in Boise, Idaho, and we do get Cigar City out here. I mean, since you guys joined the Canarchy distribution, and we do get a few of your beers, and I have really enjoyed the beer. And of course, even before we got you out here, Jai Alai was a name that was recognized around the nation pretty much, and we did. I have some friends that would provide me some beer, and so I have enjoyed it. When we did get your beer here, I really do enjoy it. Some nice variety of beers. But Joel mentioned, hey, I'm going to get Joey Redner on the podcast. So I'm like, Joey who? I'm like, I know the
That's the appropriate response.
Yeah, I know the brand, but because that's
what he wants you to respond.
But because I'm not on the East Coast, not in Florida, I really haven't heard anything about you or your story or anything. So just to give you a little bit of history behind me and Kris, we joined up with Joel and Dan to help promote. They want to do a podcast to help promote their fermented reality beer garden and their beer B cups. And Kris and I do another show called Tap the Craft Podcast, which focuses on education of craft beer to people that that may be interested in craft beer but are a little bit nervous to go up and dive into it. And we kind of ease them into it. And one of the things that I always love to talk about is people's craft beer journeys on how exactly did they find craft beer? How did craft beer find you? And then of course, you are a story that I'm guessing you're a story that you enjoyed craft beer, and at the time you got in, there might not have been a lot of craft beer out there, and you wanted to make your own mark on the scene, and I'm guessing you wanted to start a brewery. So how did craft beer find you?
So I started drinking beer in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and then mid 90s legally. And just never saw what the big deal about beer was, because what I had access to was mass market beer, which if I had liked it, then I probably would have just stayed right there in that lane, and I would have been happy and never cared. But because I didn't like what was offered to me, I just kind of got this, well, I'll give anything a try sort of mentality. And so anytime I saw a new beer, I would give it a shot. And then I'd found a few that I liked. It kind of they were good, but the consistency of finding them was always, it's always difficult. And this is pre-internet, so it wasn't really easy to just find out where all the beer was. There was a few places around that when I felt like making a special trip, I'd go stock up, and that kind of tied me over. But I just kind of kept hunting and looking more. And what really stuck out to me is 1996. I had to go to a wedding in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And I'd had craft beer before, but it was sort of just what kind of made it to Florida. So it was stuff like Pete's, Rhino Timbers, and Saravada, Abita, the early kind of craft breweries. And I hadn't really had, there was a brewery here called Hops, which made they made decent beer, but it was entry level kind of craft. I'd never really had like aggressively administered American hops, like Cascade hops, like really aggressively put into a beer before that was fresh. I'd certainly had beer, I'd had Sierra Nevada Pale at that time, but I hadn't had it just like fresh. And so we one of the people getting married was she was a painter. She did a lot of the murals at McMenamin's brew pub, and one of the guys getting married was actually a guy who was pretty well known here in the restaurant industry. Maybe I won't mention names. Someone else now. Anyway, so we're going to all the McMenamin's brew pubs, and I'm drinking the beer there, and I realized, like, I talked to one of the brewers, and he just said, "Oh yeah, we just make it. We get the stuff and we just make it." And that really kind of clicked for me. And I remember I brought, and then those days you could bring the beer on the airplane, and I just bought like satchels full of beer. You could even drink. I was drinking it on the airplane. And when I got back, I really liked a lot of what I brought back, and I was going around to the places I knew, trying to say, "Oh, well, can you get this in? Can you get that in?" And they would explain to me that it has to be distributed, and if they don't have, I can't just call the brewery and have send it. That's how naive I was in those days. I didn't know. So that kind of launched me trying to say, "Oh, hunting for other beer," which led me to home brewing. Which led me to eventually, my whole plan was eventually someone, it's probably about the early 2000s that I really was like, someone's going to open a brewery again in Tampa, and they're going to package. We had a brewery called Ybor Gold. And again, they were kind of making more sort of, they're bridging the gap between kind of larger and craft. And, I thought someone's going to come and do like more aggressive craft stuff, and I'm going to go work for that guy. And that guy just really got his ass.
Wasn't that Florida beer? Joey?
No, well, Florida
FBC?
Beer was in Melbourne. So Florida Beer was in Melbourne. Ybor Gold was actually in Ybor City.
Oh.
It was located in Ybor.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, it was a guy named Humberto Perez. He was from a Venezuelan family that owned a brewery in Venezuela.
Okay.
They moved here. He started the brewery. When they shut down, he sold it to the Florida Beer Company in Melbourne. They took over the brand, which is why it's still around. But it's not brewed in Ybor anymore. And Humberto Perez actually has a brewery down in Miami now, so he's back in the beer space.
Cool.
But he breweries like that kind of inspired me. Like I kind of thought you could do it, but I still just, I just didn't think I had the skill set. And I just kept waiting. I literally sort of built a business plan by asking why it wasn't being done. Is supply the problem? Is the equipment too expensive? Can you not do it small scale? Excuse me. I thought that you could because I'd seen it done in other places. So I believed it could be done, but you still, when you answer all the questions that you've asked yourself and the answer is yes, but no one else is doing it, you wonder if you got your math wrong.
No, right. But meanwhile, you're just kind of first. I mean, you weren't first to market, but you were certainly first to market with a marketable concept and company. I think that's probably true.
Well, I was the first in many years to actually do a 6-pack. At Dunedin, I worked for Dunedin Brewery because again, I was trying to be in the space.
Sure.
But we did draft and we did 16-ounce 4-pack bottles. Yep. Not even 16-ounce cans, 16-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was an oddball package, which kind of made it an uphill push to get people to carry it. So I knew I wanted to be up. I wanted to do large format, but I also knew that you needed to have something that was, just that kind of grab it and go. I know what that package size is. And I think
basically the 12-ounce, right? Because you guys were in cans at first, if I remember correctly. You guys were strictly bottles.
But it was cost prohibitive because you had to boil. You had to get semi full of them, and it would just almost my entire budget.
I believe that.
So yeah, that was my journey was just I thought I didn't really like beer and found out it was just I didn't like the beer I could get, and then when I discovered styles that I really liked, and I'm much I really do have a pretty wide I cast a wide net style wise what I like. But I'm definitely
stop it, malty boy. Stop it,
malty but I am a malt boy. No, I love pale ales and I love IPAs, but I like them to stop like a little short of High Line, to be honest.
Heard that. And for anyone who hasn't had a High Line is listening, it is a very it's a malt driven beer. Yeah. It's a malt driven beer, but it's very hoppy and it is very different than most of the things, especially nowadays that you've had, because it is still West Coasty and bitter the way it's supposed to be. So for anyone who hasn't had it, you can check it out now, I think in 49 states, Joey.
Somewhere around there. Yeah. I honestly, I lose track.
Who was going to ask Joey about firemen? I mean, this is a great segue into fireman capital.
I feel like he almost just went, "Oh, really?" So yeah, so like Denny was talking about, he's trying to get the kind of the history and everything on you and Cigar City and why you said, "Hey, let's put a brewery in there." I want to kind of know, Joey, what it was like for you guys to, have someone approach you guys and go, we want to buy a portion of your organization and distribute you guys everywhere. I mean, what was that kind of, can you tell me kind of what that was like? And I did hear rumor that maybe someone with the initials AB reached out to you guys as well.
Yeah, so many people, I never really put a shingle out. I never said, "Hey, we're for sale." But when you have success, and when I went into the industry, there was a lot I didn't know. I mean, my level of naivete was quite large, which I think is good. You kind of need to not know a few things when you set out to do something like this, because perfect knowledge would make you not want to do it.
Right.
So we never put a shingle out, but just when you start having RI data and these other larger breweries around the country see that they look at you and they've never heard of you and they see that you're selling 10 times in an area what they are.
Right. Yeah.
It piques their interest. So many people, without saying names, had approached us and way earlier probably than most people are aware of. I mean, we were still tiny when people were approaching us. And, it's just like, sure, we'll talk. I mean, I don't really have an interest. We'll talk. And then as the business grew, it got very much outside of the scope of what I enjoyed doing, of why I started doing it, of what was important to me, from a balance of professional and work and home life. I started being able to get my head around the idea. I didn't want Cigar City to suffer from the fact that I just, it wasn't, the consumer wanted it to be a brewery that wasn't really in keeping with what I set out to do. And I didn't want to hold it back. And I, at the same time, I mean, it was very lucrative. I mean, I was, I didn't pay myself at all. We just lived on my wife's salary. And it got to be the point where I just throw the money back in, and it started doing so well. I couldn't throw the money back in.
Yeah.
I just,
good problem to have.
Got to the point where I'm like, look, there's other things I'd like to do. And I never looked at Cigar City as like my identity of who I was. It was a thing I did. I was proud of it, very proud of what we accomplished. I think as, myself and as a team, I think we did really cool things. And I think we had our hearts in the right place. We certainly were very experimental, but at the core stuff, we really did try to keep the quality there. And it's just say that we were always successful, but when we weren't successful, we fucking fixed it.
Joey, there was a year where on Untapped, you were like number 3 in the number of different beers produced in a year. Something like that. It was like 2016 or 2017. Speaking of, I heard you say the word experimental. And I mean, you guys were, I'll tell you what, as a guy who lived and worked very close to the brew pub, you guys were crazy experimental. The fact that the new Overlord doesn't do the Growler Tuesday thing is it's crazy to me.
Well,
it was so successful for so long.
I can tell you sometimes it's not just the Overlord. Sometimes it's the people that's been there a really long time who didn't necessarily always agree with how
I know, but it drove so much business. I watched it. I watched the lines happen. I watched the loyalty happen, and that was kind of part of it. I think it was a little bit of your special sauce, right? It's part of that.
Yeah, I've always liked variety, and I like moving around, and and some things I like are frenetic pace, and it's especially when you have a staff, it's easier for me to like it because I can like it sort of at one level and not necessarily at holy shit, another one this week.
I have staff who doesn't like things either, and you know what? Sometimes it's you're in tune with them, and other times that's just kind of the way it goes, man.
Yeah, I looked at, I worked in the tasting room when we started. I did those jobs. I was and I did the bad job. So I never felt like I never would ask someone to do something that I wasn't doing too. I did those jobs.
You did.
But I didn't do them when we got as popular as some of the other people that worked in there. I didn't do it when there were 60 people waiting outside.
Yeah, I know.
Doors even opened, and I get that that's different.
I know, and when Chris Lovett leaves, you have to make a few changes because not everybody can handle it, right? God love Kris. I hope he's listening today. Kris Levitt was a great addition to your team, and he's moved on. And
but there was some interest, and I got to a point where I was ready. I felt like I had a tiger by the tail, and I was ready to let go. And in many ways, I was holding it back because I'm very debt averse. And these jumps you have to make when you go from, we got to about 55,000 barrels just under our own steam. And the jumps you have to make, the cash that you have to commit to, and the level and the level of whip cracking you have to do to make sure that everything is done the right way. Because a bank doesn't just say, here's money, and then tell us when you're ready to send in a payment. They want to know what your plan is. They want to know how you're opening new markets, how you're going, great, you can make more beer, how are you going to sell it? And it's not as easy as just give me the money and trust me. And it shouldn't be. But I got to the point where it became more valuable to other people than it was to me, at least as far as my willingness to go into debt to continue to feed its growth.
So, but how was that organic growth process, Joey? Because this is something that I say to people a lot, and it's something that I kind of parrot it because I heard it elsewhere, and I think it sounds really good. And it's this idea of making sure that your business is growing organically, and you're kind of not forcing it into the next stratosphere vis-a-vis money or whatever.
Right.
And I think that that's not true all the time, right? I think that there's sometimes where you do need to do that. Call it Amazon.com, right? Getting into a new sector of business or whatever it is. But you guys really seem to grow organically. It seemed to be a slow build. Do you feel that way? And do you think that you did it the right way?
Yeah, I think I did for as far as how well I could have done it. And quite frankly, the growth that we've had, when you start selling beer in Idaho and you're a brewery from Florida, you certainly need some history and some mystique, but you also need a little bit of that corporate, we have all the data, we know who'll drink it, we know where to put it.
True.
We grew very organically in that. We came along at a time. I still believe to this day that we made very good liquid, and we tried to make a lot of it consistently because that's extremely important and difficult.
And people were pining for it, right? I mean, that's kind of the definition of the organic growth, right? It's like people were like asking you for more highlight. Joey, how do I get more highlight?
Right. And so getting into the pipeline really became all we had to do. I didn't have to do much more than that from a prepare the market standpoint. And I think it very much was because the market was so underserved for beers like that. There were plenty of beers that would come into the state that had that profile, but I had the advantage of I didn't have to ship my beer from a month away.
Joey, I disagree with you. I don't think they all had the profile of your beer. I think your beer had a little something different.
There were many other great beers that were being made.
Correct.
That were made in other places.
Correct.
But by the time you ship it,
it loses a little something.
I'm not trying to, badmouth our own product. I'm really not doing that. I'm just saying I had an advantage. So if my beer was better, it was better and closer.
Yeah.
And that helped.
In the fourth largest drinking state in the country.
Yeah.
The fifth largest or whatever it is.
Yeah, and third largest population. But really, at any given time, Florida can get close to being the most populous state. And during the season, we get, we have another 5 to 10 million people in the state.
It's pretty. We forget that because of the last year, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's organic growth. I think a lot of it was right time, right place. I'm not, luck, but luck within the framework of having got into the market at the right place and done the right things. Because we still could have messed it up in 100 different ways.
It's true. So what are you? I mean, I know a little bit of it, but so I know about Cigar City Cider and Mead. I know about Commerce. I hear rumors about Bolero Snort. I hear rumors about things in New York. I know that you're in the industry, right? I mean, I think I want to compliment you for a moment by taking this money that you got and kind of spreading it around in the industry and helping things that you think will be successful to be successful, right? I think that's good stuff. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about like kind of what all you're doing these days as it relates to other interests?
Yeah. So of course, I've built a brewery, so I've been there and seen a lot of things. And so I've, and because I'm in the industry, I know people in the industry, and I can be a strategic investor. I can invest money, but I can also tell you a lot of things that I fucked up and how to not do that. So I've been fortunate to be able exactly that. So let's see, I've got passive investments, but I'm available anytime the partners need me to discuss it. But I've got passive investments in Angry Chair, Magnanimous Brewing, Bolero up in New Jersey.
Okay.
Hopefully soon, Seventh Son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good. In fact, you and I were talking about that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad that you're. Yes, I hope so too. In short, I hope so too. Yes.
Yeah. So Devin, who was one of the founders, she went through a tough spot with her partner. And
yes.
We kind of were behind the scenes helping her extricate that situation. So
as you know, our number one beer at the Beer Garden, Joey, is Seventh Son Graffiti Orange.
Awesome.
Number one. I mean, seriously, like it's amazing. They make amazing liquid, and it's nice to see someone helping her.
Yeah, so Commerce is with cider. I didn't have a production facility in cider that was large enough. We were canning cider in Ybor, and as you know, it's just ridiculous because we'd have to break down a pallet and then like rebuild it on the sidewalk to then load onto it. It's just so dumb.
Denny, if I could explain Cigar City Cider and Mead in Ybor City to you in a moment, it's kind of 1,200 square feet. like as you walk in, like there's a little upstairs piece and there's a back of house piece and there's little things happening, but the brewing piece kind of happens in 600 square feet and the tasting. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it is very cozy in there. It is very cozy in there. So to Joey's point, what a pain in the ass, and for your edification and everyone else, Denny, the Commerce is this. Joey, would you call it contract brewing? Because Commerce isn't really going to make its own beer. Is that correct?
Yeah, it really is. It's a contract facility, but it came out. We were looking at the space to be able to produce cider, and someone I knew had looked at it. They bid on it. We both put bids in. They outbid me, and then basically decided to do it with me, which worked out good. And so
yes.
At Cigar City Brewing, we contracted, and I learned a lot about it and what the difficulties are.
We won't talk about that. You mean you learned how maybe do it a little better? Can we say it that way?
I've learned
without saying any names.
I've learned some things. The biggest thing I learned was just that you have to have the right scale for the client. And craft beer brewers, there's very few that need 200, 300, 400 barrel batches. They mostly mostly need 30 to 60s. They need to supplement their own production.
Yes.
So we wanted to be scaled right, but also have all the tools that maybe they don't have. They may not have a centrifuge. They may not have a flash pasteurizer if they want to do barrel age and make sure they can lock that beer in at a time and place.
Sure.
So we've worked really hard to kind of have those things. But we also wanted to be able, it was another thing that was frustrating to me is like, the way the state of Florida works is they make it really hard for you to do all the things in the fermentation space. If you want to distill, if you want to brew, if you want to
they do
cider mead, you can do it, but they make it just incredibly difficult. So we wanted to have all the licenses in place so that if you want to do anything, if you want us to make a beer for you and use some of that word to make a spirit, then we were able to do that.
Oh, you guys are distilling over there?
Yeah, we can do distilling. We have a still there that we haven't got in yet, but we'll get it in soon. But we have a partner we can work with to create spirits now.
Okay.
And we can do RTDs. So if you want to do sort of mixed drinks, 5.5%, we're able to do those. We've done those before. We obviously can can cider, which we're doing there for
Are you doing the coffee there too? You want to talk about the coffee thing?
So made coffee. Yeah, that's another thing. Just kind of
that's a good one for you.
A passion project. It's just honestly, I was a huge customer. I was drinking, I was drinking 2 cans a day, 7 days a week. So I was doing 14 cans a week.
Yeah.
And I just kind of find out, I asked around if anyone knew anyone and got an introduction. And we're hoping to compress that over to Commerce just for synergy so we can save money for both.
Yeah.
But the process is somewhat similar. It's not the same kind of brewing, but the canning, the pressurization, all of that is very similar.
But it's a cold brew, isn't it? So it's this thing where you don't need any heat. So it's like cider process.
Yes, much more like that. Yeah, and no fermentation.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Good for you. So made
a few other projects that around Florida and the country.
So hold on. So in the rumor mill, let me stick in the rumor mill real quick. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
Bolero. I heard Bolero was going to put something down here. My dad's a huge Bolero fan, by the way. He's in New Jersey, and he introduced me to Bolero, and then I heard this whole thing, so now I'm really interested.
So I talk with Bob, the owner of Bolero, pretty regularly. We're working on some projects together, but none of them currently have anything with him coming down here.
Okay.
And I'm not to say that this is going to happen, but it's not ever been discussed in any of our discussions.
Well, I met him at Hanapu Day. I had my dad in tow, so he was a huge fanboy for the owners of Bolero Snort. I thought that was really cool.
They're great guys, man. Honestly,
and if I can revisit a topic real quick, is the Hanapu Day thing, because talk about organic growth, Joey. This fucking thing has become okay, Denny, are you aware of Hanapu Day?
Of course I am.
Okay. What other festivals? This is a great question. What other festivals in the upper 48 are you aware of that you would maybe travel to and think about?
From Idaho.
I mean, the only other one is Great American Beer Fest.
Okay.
JBF.
Yep. Anything else?
And then Hanapu Day would probably be the next one that
which I went to in like when did we go, Joel?
Fucking iconic.
White Oak High Line. There was a line like out the.
Oh yeah. So nobody else has the
oh my
Spin
God.
Bot 5000.
Joey, we were at GABF. Joey, we went to be at GABF in 2014. Dan? No, 15. It was somewhere around there. There was a fucking line at Cigar City. Love it was working for you, if that gives you any frame of reference.
It was the year you guys had your liquidity event, Joey, because you guys were celebrating it. You guys were celebrating it that year. It was like under wraps. It wasn't officially like announced yet. But you guys,
Chris was like sneaking us. Chris was sneaking us shit on the side because he knew how absolutely outrageous this line was and how no one I'm not going to stand there and wait in that line. But he's like, here, guys, let me give you guys a drink, which was really cool, by the way, because again, I had Dan and my brother and my dad in tow. Like that was really cool. I think that was 2014, Dano.
No, 16.
16.
Yeah, that was the year we also met Sam. Caglione.
Yep. Big Sam. So we're Sam marks too. If this was a Sam interview, I think I'd be marking out really hard. So I'm glad it's just Joey. It makes me feel better. And you met Sam many times, right, Joey?
Yeah, at JBF, Craft Brewers Conference, things like that. I think we've done a panel before.
They're on Mount Crushmore.
It's Joey and the girl from Golden Road and the guy from Ballast Point and
Mount Crushmore.
Yeah, Mount Crushmore. I like that. That's really good.
So,
well,
Joey,
listen.
So, Joey, I got a question for you. I know you're a big Islanders fan. Maybe a bigger Bruins fan. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I know you're a big Lightning fan, right? So I really got two questions in this. Okay.
I'm still a hockey neophyte, but I've really tried hard to understand it for someone who never played it.
That's okay. But who would you rather see in the next round of the playoffs? Are you looking for? Because Islanders won tonight. We all know Lightning is up 3-1. Big game tomorrow night. Sticks of Fire down at the Beer Garden, right, Joel?
Yeah, Sticks of Fire. Joey, do you know who Sticks of Fire are?
I don't know who they are. I know it's an apocryphal nickname for Tampa.
It's all the
degenerates from the 300 section.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's the 300 section degenerates from
the degenerates from the 300
the guy
section.
you always hear whistling up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so who would you rather see in the next round? I think that it's pretty. I mean, listen, I don't want to say it's a lock for the Bolts, but I mean, come on.
Dan, easy.
Yeah. Well, honestly, the Hurricanes were the team I was really worried about.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me
too.
Yep.
I would say Boston just because I think it would be cool. Like, we got Tom Brady from them and won a Super Bowl. It'd be nice if we could.
Oh, that's a good angle. I like that shoot.
I never thought about that.
I just feel like they're the better team, so I don't want them. I feel like New York is the worst team, so I want to play them because I feel like we can kill them.
Very scrappy, New York is.
Always.
New York, the Islanders just pulled it out tonight, actually, in Boston. So they're up 3-2 in the series. Yeah. Yeah. So my follow-up question to that, Joey, is your favorite place, because, I know you guys got the spot now in the arena. Where is your favorite place to watch the game? Is it home with your wife and the girls? Is it at the arena? Is it the club seats? Where are you watching the game?
Where are we watching the game, Joey?
I have seats for about half of the probably about half the games. I think so. If we lose in North Carolina, then I get tickets for the next home game.
Nice.
6.
Is it a suite or do you have seats?
I'd rather we just win. I'd rather we just win. And I don't
No
get
shit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Joel and I talk about that because obviously Game 6 would be big down at the beer garden. But we'd rather just get it closed out, get it done, and get some rest.
Yeah, I'd rather my blood pressure stays.
I do. I have to say, I love, again, I didn't grow up with hockey, but, and I was grown by the time they even came. I was still in my 20s. I love going to the games. They're so much fun. And I love taking my kids who, they go to football games, they go to hockey games, and they love hockey so much more.
It's fun.
And it's not even close.
Yeah.
You mean they like hockey better than football, Joey?
Like so much more. Like
that's cool.
They really could care less about
Smart
football.
kids.
I end up going to football by myself. They don't care.
Very interesting, very different fan base. We're able to see both fan bases, and experience that. And for sure, we're very excited about the Bolts this year. So we wanted to figure out where you're.
And now you're on Harbor Island, Joey. So you really have to be a fan. Like you got to. I see you with the hat. You got to fly the flags on the cars and do the whole fucking thing, man. I think that's like.
I love it. We walk to the games. It's a fun environment.
God, that's
fun
so cool.
It really is cool.
So do you have seats or a box?
One other non-beer question, because that's what I'm here for. I add in the non-craft beer questions.
The much needed.
I know you've been asked that a million times. I know you're a big big car buff, and I know Joel is too. And I know there's that garage / place that you can go and live and drive your car and racetrack. Mm-hmm. So I heard that a little birdie told me that Joel wants to burn up his M5. When I went to Joel's house, this is how Joel drives. He's got 4 new tires stacked in the garage, ready to go.
I think Jen wants to drive the M5 over there.
So, are you looking to rip some tires over there, or?
Yeah, we did. We got
something about a Fiero I heard about too. That's something I heard.
When you call me a car buff, you always have to preface it, because car buffs, when they find out that the car I collect is Fiero, don't count me. Immediately tell me to go to the little kid table.
Until he talks about his Firebird,
his Trans Am.
I do have a Firebird that one counts as a car. A collector.
1200 horse.
It's probably like 1200 to 1500.
It's called Try and Keep the Rear Tires Engaged with the Ground.
Now that's a quarter mile. Is that a quarter mile car, or that's a quarter mile car, or a track car? Or?
It's really designed to be kind of like just a pure muscle, almost drag kind of car. But I don't drive it.
It's not draggable. You can't drag that car. You can't put the power to the ground. It's sick.
Gets a half a mile down the road. Got to put gas in it. Get another half mile down
It'll
the
go
road,
down
put
sideways. It'll
honestly,
just go down sideways. It'll just like slide on.
I really should probably down tune it for my use of it.
Awesome.
But no, Joey does love the Fiero thing, and
I do. Yeah, so I have 3 Fieros. It was my first car, and it kind of ruined me. I didn't even realize. It's not like they had a lot of power, but they do handle really well, especially for
they're surprisingly light too, aren't they? Like a fiberglass body.
It's the mid-engine thing, Dan. Yeah. The mid-engine thing is a really handleable car because it's more well balanced than anything. So I get what you're saying, Joe. I love to make fun of you for it, but I get what you're saying. Right?
No, I was gonna say for a Fiero, I knew that had to be like a first car or like the car you dreamt about growing up. I was like, yeah.
The great thing about Fieros though is they're very easy to get right, like to get them the way they should have been. Yeah. Whereas if many other cars, like the Corvette, they've always said should have been mid-engine. Well, you're not going to make that a mid-engine car very easily.
They are now.
They are now.
Yeah, except they're ugly. Yeah.
They are ugly not. They look amazing.
Yeah, if you've got $2,500 in a dream, you can make a pretty good Fiero.
Yeah.
And two
there's the T-shirt quote right there.
2 cans of Krylon paint.
We were joking about that.
That's the best car geek quote I ever heard in my life.
That's going on a T-shirt.
Get your Fiero a kit. You're all good to go.
But seriously, Joey, people have taken 3,800 supercharged engines out of Grand Prix, put them in old Fieros. They'll go to the track, and there's nothing from the 80s that can keep up with them. I'm talking even like Ferrari.
Don't they put LT1s in them too? Isn't that one of those cars they put an LT1 in?
Yeah, that sometimes they do, but you don't even need that. You can do it with a 6-cylinder.
Oh my god! How much does it weigh?
I think if if you put aluminum heads on them and go with like 3800 and you take some shit out and you don't go, you can get them into 2400 pounds.
Wow. Oh my God. That's nothing. That thing's a feather out there. And it's got 500 horsepower or whatever.
A chromoly roll cage for sure.
Definitely a nice spoiler right on the end of it.
Holy shit. You're the first one at the scene of the accident. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what. This for anyone who cares, it's called the Motor Enclave. There's one in Orlando. Joey, is that one fully sold out? I forget the story on that one.
The one in Tampa, I think, is about 50% sold out, and there's one in Michigan, I believe, is the other one, and they are sold. That one's sold out.
So it's this cool concept where you purchase a garage for X dollars. You pay taxes on it. Like it's kind of a house thing, but it's a garage. And then you get to trim it out however you want. And then you can keep your cars there. And then as a bonus, you get to drive your cars around the track whenever you want. There's also a 4x4 track if you're like a truck guy like Dan. Dan, there's a 4x4 track there. So you
Dan.
Big Black. You can take Big Black over there, your 4x4, and go do the thing over there. So
that's what I'm most excited about is the 4x4. I mean, the track is going to be cool, but I've got a Jeep that's all souped up, and I'm really excited for that part.
Cool. Yeah. I'm excited about it too, man. The second Joey told me he was doing it, I was like, so I can come over and I can bring the car, right? And he's like, yeah, you can come over. That's fine. And I was like, sweet. I just want to go around that track a few times.
I don't think I have enough cars to fill it, to be honest. If I get a lift.
I don't even listen. I wish I had an extra car to keep there. I don't even have that. I just want to drive over in my car and go drive around the track a few times and hang out in your garage.
Drive back up, drive to get milk, and then go home.
Have a fucking high and hang out.
Come on, man! If you get the chance to do that, Joel, go do it.
Publix and then go home, right, Joel?
Kris, this is not a pipe dream. This is totally happening.
I've had track days at a racetrack in a Nissan GTR and an Audi R8. Oh my God!
What?
Boner City. That's all I'm gonna say.
You did an R8 track day?
Yes.
Oh my God.
My mother-in-law got it for me for Christmas one year in Pittsburgh. Oh my God.
Joey, if I had to recommend a car, this V10 R8 6-speed shit is fucking whoa. Yeah.
Well, it's a Lamborghini engine, right? But then
you're exactly right. And the sounds it makes are heavenly. And this car it's the one thing that I really pine for. I don't really pine for a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and I love these things, but the Audi R8 thing is like, whoa, like that seems really attainable.
It's a lot for the money too, because you're getting a Lamborghini engine effectively.
Well, very few cars are made with a V10. I was trying to Dan's not a car guy, and I geeked out with him for a second because I'm looking at there's the older M5 too, which came as a V10, and they make sounds that you've never heard before in your life. Like these V10 engines, whatever it is, I don't even care what fucking car it is. If it comes with a V10, go buy it, put an exhaust on it, and it will make sounds that will make you swoon. I don't even care if you're a car guy or not. These things are amazing.
Yeah, it's like they squeezed a V10 onto an Audi TT frame and just extended the body a little bit to make it more aerodynamic.
Yeah, did they do
a little wider, a little longer, but same.
Didn't
frame.
they do a V8 turbo version instead? Like, wasn't there like a? I thought there was a section of the car where it was a V10, and then there was a section of the car where it was a different thing, and it was.
No. Whenever I see somebody driving that car, they're way too fucking young, and I'm just like, whoa. It just sounds so gorgeous. And you know what? It's like, part of me makes me happy, though. Like, at least somebody, like, I love when I see somebody in a super sports car that's just like fucking lead foot, just gas, and I'm like, yes, go for it.
Well, I don't think that's Joey.
I hate to see some like old lady behind the back of like a 800 horsepower car going 30 under the speed limit.
I think that's Joey's wife Jen when he had the McLaren. I think that Jen would take that McLaren out. What did you have? The 720?
I know I had the 650S.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes. So I could see Jen really ripping around town on that. I think that you're pretty tame because you're.
No, I mean, I went and tried to, but there's a few little areas where if you go like on the weekends because they're like car park areas. Sorry, they're like workplace areas. So you go on the weekends, there's not people there. So I've done
had fun.
Things, but,
You've had fun.
It's like it's nice and fun to do for a while, but I don't think my heart pines for it the way that you do. Like I kind of got it out of my system. I don't need it as much anymore.
I might find the same thing, Joey. I don't know. The M5 presents something different that's more of a total package, so you don't have to do that every day to it to get enjoyment out of it. You can kind of just drive it and be good with it. Whereas a McLaren, like, how the fuck are you not?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you've driven a McLaren that's like climbing Everest, you're like, climbing mountains cool. I've kind of done one or two.
No, dude, I'm telling you. Listen, for every car guy out there, it's not a McLaren. It's a 911 turbo. If you're a car guy and you're not into like a 911 turbo at some point in your life, then you're missing out because these things are like
beautiful.
Holy shit! It's the unicorn.
It's the unicorn.
The handling. Well, the GT2, GT3, but those are like Widowmakers. The 911 turbo is like this nice, like they got all the grannies in there for you. If you want to keep the fucking traction control on, you keep the traction control on, or you can cut it off and you can kind of do your thing, and they still come in stick, and they're still fast as shit.
And they have plenty
look
of cup
good.
holders.
Yeah, and they have plenty of cup holders. My car only has one cup holder for being such a big car. No, it has two in the back seat, but I'm not using those. Fuck that. I only get one cup holder.
No, look,
so I just don't bring a cup.
The GTR is on my purchase list, guys. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Which one?
The Nissan GTR.
So did you know?
Yeah.
Okay, can I hip you to something?
Yeah.
Do you know about JapaneseClassics.com?
No, but I do.
Okay,
now.
well now you do. If anyone
R35 action.
Okay, if anyone, no, I'll give you the rundown right now. If anyone in the audience is a car guy and you're a Japanese car guy, they're importing right drive cars actively. Japanese Classics. It has the plural.com.
Is right drive
right now, R34s are not coming in right now. R33s are coming in right now.
It's got to be 20 years old.
Anything, it's like 95 and earlier is what you're seeing the most of. There's some really cool fucking shit coming over, though, dude. There's some really cool Forerunners that come over. There's some really cool Land Rovers that come over. There's some really cool right drive Nissan stuff that comes over. There's some cool right drive.
Is it like Skyline or something like that?
Skyline. There's but there's also, I'll tell you what, Joey. There's what they used to call the Fairlady, which is what we knew as the 8990 twin turbo Z. That shit comes over right drive. That stuff's fun, man. And by the way, these things are like $11, $12, $14, $16,000. They are not a ton of dough. So unless you get a trimmed out R33, I'm sorry, R32, R33 VTEC kind of thing, like those are $40,000 and $50,000, but still worth it.
Dave Skaggs says my new Mar motorhome has a V10.
Tell them to put an exhaust on it, dude. I want to hear it.
Let's go, Dave.
I want to hear it. If you want to hear some sex, go look up BMW M5 V10. Like these guys do exhaust and then they do runs, so they just take a video. I mean, this is really nerdy shit, but you can listen to the exhaust and it is otherworldly. It's really great. Like my car sounds great. It doesn't sound anything like that. That's amazing.
Yeah, the founder of our franchise. So Joey, I have a dog training business here in the Tampa area. It's a franchise. The founder of our business is every couple of months just picking up a new Porsche, a new Lamborghini, a new this. Dog training is good, right? And he's first thing he does, new exhaust every single time.
Really?
New exhaust every time. It's insane.
I'm hesitant. I like that I can have a tame. Like if I took Joey out to lunch or something.
Well, I mean,
we don't have to race down the fucking road, and it doesn't sound loud either. It sounds like a normal. Be honest, Joel, you go to Publix
racing down the road though.
The M5,
not with someone in the car though.
If you don't,
that's
know
only
any better,
with me in the car.
The M5's a sleeper if you don't know any better, right? Because is yours 4-door?
Yes, they're all 4-door.
It's a sleeper,
it's a 45.
Right?
It's a 4,500 pound, 600 horsepower.
I was telling Joel when I was in the backseat of his car, I was like, dude, I just kind of realized your driver's seat is sort of like a spaceship seat. Like his driver's seat was completely different from the passenger seat, and obviously from the back seat. But
which I never realized until
driving
he told me
seats were completely different. I mean. He looked like he was in like a SpaceX seat.
They hold you in. They have to hold you in. Listen, you have to have, when you have a fast car, you have to have good brakes and good seats.
Oh, no, you got to feel like you're hugging it. You got to feel comfortable. I definitely agree with that.
The car's got to hug you back.
The beauty of it is it does both things. It does the comfort thing, and then it does the speed thing, and it does them both very nicely. And I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Just can't get the shit in stick shift anymore. It's like everything's automatic.
Everything's on the wheel.
I know. I dropped my car off at the valet, and they're like, "I'm sorry, I can't drive this." I'm like, "You're a valet,"
and you're like, "Dude, it's a Honda."
Yeah, it's a Honda. Like, it's not even like a 700 horsepower car. I'm just like, "Come on, dude!" Like,
and I'll tell you what, as a valet, you should be able to drive stick because these guys are bringing their Porsches in and their Lamborghinis in, and
I always ask them, I'm like, "Are you good at driving stick?" And they're like, "Eh." I'm like, "I'll park. Thanks."
There's always one. What I've found in Tampa is there's always one guy who does know how to drive stick, and they're always, I have to wait for
Right, they gotta call him in.
They do.
They call him the over 40 guy.
Well, I'm sure your Friero's not automatic. I mean, I don't even think they came in automatic.
Actually, they're all automatics. It's
Are
hard
they?
to find sticks. Yeah, it's hard to find sticks. Yeah, those are the ones everyone wants. So the 88 GT, they made a ton of Frieros, but I like the 88s.
Yeah.
That's when they finally got it right. Then they stopped making it. And the white whale is an 88 GT stick. And they're just hard to find. That there aren't 200,000 miles.
But even at 200,000, can you rebuild the transmission? Like, is that something you can save? Some of these you can, and some of these you can't. It's a weird thing, right? Like, I'm very aware of this.
If I was gonna like resto mod it, and I wouldn't mind if it was high mileage anyway, and I could just put in one, but.
That's where you just put the LS. Did you just put the LS1 in with the fucking the 6-speed tranny?
To me, it's wrong to put a V8.
I know.
I was gonna say I've seen people put 5.0s in those, and then they do like the Lambo kit on it.
I don't like that. To me, they're supposed to be. They're like a Lotus.
You're a purist.
You could put a 1JZ motor in that car and kill it. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like you could put the RB. The Skyline motor that you're talking about, the RB30, to put a fucking DETT in there, that thing will. Whoa!
That I wouldn't have a problem with. And to me, I don't like. There's no real factions in Fiero. Like most people don't care, but I care. Yeah. I don't like V8s in me. Even if they can go, I just don't. It's not appropriate to what that car was to me.
I get it. And then listen, there's enough sixes nowadays that you can. Really
I believe in the new
Fast
and Furious movie, they put a jet engine on one. So.
He's flying into the ocean. Like I saw the preview, and Vince is flying into the. And I'm like, how many of these movies are they really going to make?
What are they up to? Like 10?
8?
They stopped naming
what they're at. Yeah, like I would have never thought that series was going to go 8 movies or 9, 10 movies. It's never in my life.
It's become not Fast and not Furious.
So I mean, I'm not trying to be cool. I've never seen one. Not that I would.
Good for you. You know what? Good for you, Joey.
Even the first one? Come on.
Good for you, Joey.
The first one.
I've never seen one. But
I've seen too many of them, Joey. Too many.
I can watch 10 in a row. I can have a whole fest.
It's just awful.
Once
anyway,
they brought Jason Statham and The Rock, I was like, they've given up on the
1 and 2
Fast and Furious series.
Great.
Just filling seats.
You better
3,
watch that. Great.
4,
You just like
8.
the R. You just like the R34 that was in it. That's why you think it was great. Yeah, exactly.
We got Honda.
Listen, we can all bullshit. I want to let Joey go. Joey's got a life and kids and a wife and other things going on. Joey, listen, thank you so much for bullshitting with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
have yourself a wonderful night and come see me at the beer garden soon. We'll talk soon. Bye, buddy.
See you, Joey.
Take care. All right. I just wanted to relinquish him. I mean, really, we're keeping this guy.
He was on for an hour.
We're keeping this guy all night. And it's really unnecessary.
Ready
if we're gonna bullshit, we can bullshit all we want. There's young Joey Redner. There he is. Young Joey Redner piecing out like that. That was great. That was good stuff.
Good, yeah.
I can talk cars for, oh my God, days.
No, I got Domino's on the way, and I'm watching the Western
final
game.
You guys,
no Papadillas.
No Papadilla. What's poppin'?
Jesus Christ.
No Papadilla. I didn't know what Papadilla was. I'm assuming it was Papa John's. So
well, here I gotta ask Denny.
That's the only thing open, so we were getting Domino's. Sorry.
I have to ask Denny. Yeah. Denny, did you notice there is a Papa John's Papadilla commercial that uses our song, the "What's Poppin'," that whole. Well, guess what? It's on national television now. Oh. That's a thing.
We made it popular.
You say that?
Like I guess we did.
Unfortunately, they have the officially licensed song by.
When you hear Dan tell it, you would think it was our song.
Oh, speaking of which, I put the John Penman episode up on YouTube. No copyrights.
Nice. Yeah, I was curious if that would happen. We get copyrighted while having the actual.
He wasn't even interested in his music, and we think that YouTube's going to be interested in copywriting his music.
Well,
come on!
He's at Mom's house, so I mean, if sorry.
Damn, I liked him. Yeah, I'm just saying he didn't sound very interesed. I think if the audience
didn't want to listen to him.
Nope.
I think the audience would agree.
Hey,
there he is.
Hey, welcome back.
Big
Dan Charlie's back.
Yes,
our
Mr.
special
Dan
guest
Charlie
tonight. Joey was a good guest. I like him. He's a encyclopedia of information as it relates to the beer industry for sure.
So
if you
Joey's
thought about it, he's probably done it twice and been caught once.
Yep.
And Joey's a real nerdy guy. So when he talks about something, he's got some research, he's got some thoughts behind it. He's one of those guys.
Really appreciate him coming on and bestowing his presence upon us.
Thank you, Joey.
He is on Mount Crushmore.
Yeah.
I like that, Dan. When did you think of that one? That was good.
Just now.
I like it. Mount Crushmore. He is crushing it.
Tim, I'm going to need you to get on that. We're going to need to start building that one. Mount Crushmore. We better get the t-shirt and t-shirt working now.
If I could sell B cups.
Yeah, get your shirt now.
I'm going to sell B cups for $50 million so I can be on Mount Crushmore.
How do we get our I know, I am too. I'm drinking out of the stout glass.
Oh, thank you.
How do we get our own logoed B cups, Joel?
For the Beercast proper? We can do that. I'll do that. Done.
What if we did a combination?
So, for the audience, hey, let's tell the audience, because I know how to do it, but
limited time.
All you got to do is go to egrandstand.com.
Mm-hmm.
eGrandstand. I've sent cups to many, many printers. Most printers cannot print on my cups, and no one is more excited about printing on my cups than egrandstand.com.
Okay.
So you can go to egrandstand.com and you can get a minimum of 48 cups made. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but for 48 cups, I mean, listen, they're doing work over there, and they don't like the short runs, but it can be done. So the point is, Chris, I can get
specialty gift. I mean, if you're bougie enough to have 47 of your friends together and you want to print some cups up and you want to represent, then egrandstand.com is the way to go.
And the more cups, the better. They'll do 1,000 cups. They'll do 2,000 cups. They'll do 3,000 cups.
They'd be more than happy.
Why don't you tell the audience about your little device you got there to keep your cans cool?
The brewmate.
Yeah, you got from Tampa Bay.
TVBC.
Oh.
Yes. Thank you, TVBC.
Yeah, you got a little brewmate. He's got a top boy insulator for the can. It's very nice.
I've been interested in checking out the Frost Buddy. If you guys have seen that one.
Nice.
Now it's a universal can holder. It'll hold anything from your 16-ounce cans to your 12-ounce cans, your 16-ounce.
I'm wary of anything that pretends to be my buddy.
It'll hold my cans, right?
Kids.
It'll hold my B cups, right?
Your B cups, your C cups, and your D cups.
Oh, look at that! If we go on to egrandstand.com, you click on
plasticware, and there's a B cup
look
right there.
That. Look at that! We got that right there. We'll go ahead and share that screen.
So to this day, So here's what's going on. Listen, I just got an order for the tasters.
Okay.
Because
that's cool.
It's festival season. Guess what? Guess what's back on is fucking festivals. Hold on. What's this?
Who's back?
Hold on.
Back again.
I just got an invoice, and the invoice.
Festivals are back. Tell
a friend.
The invoice was for. Here she is, Jennifer. It was for 504 lager tasters.
Okay.
For the Core Brewing Seltzer Fest. How about that?
Brewing Seltzer Fest.
Hey, listen.
500.
That's right. 504 lager cups. So Grandstand has both the 17. It's either 17 or 18 ounce, so I call them pint cups, or they have these 5-ounce taster cups in all 4 separate shapes, ready to print. Right, meow.
Right,
Tim, there's people making out downstairs.
Right,
even the sushi place.
Where's the video of it?
You got camera?
Yeah, they're definitely.
Tim, bring. Hey, Tim.
They're not old.
Tim, bring that shit up. Can you connect your Bluetooth?
Let's see if he can take her home. Let's see if he can close the deal. Hold on.
He could do the Bluetooth into the board. I wonder if he could do the video.
They've already been kissing
cell phone video.
Once.
Yo, tell him to sign into Zoom on his phone.
Kissing twice.
Dano. He's not listening. You're not listening.
Sushi Joe's is a hot place around here.
Not only you get sushi, but you get sushi too.
Womp womp womp.
Because at 11:30, everyone's been asleep by 3 hours already.
11:30. It's 10:30, and people have still been asleep for 3 hours in Jupiter.
Yes.
I'm surprised anything's open in Jupiter. You don't have the only light on in Jupiter right now. Tongue? Are they really going after it?
He did not close the deal. It was a good night.
Look, they can't all be winners, right? You gotta fail sometimes.
What is that, a Mazda? He's getting in his Mazda.
Did she high-five him or what?
She did not. She just said,
Wait,
have a great night.
You're in Jupiter. Did you mean to say Maserati?
Whether she follows him or not, that's a different story.
So, Denny,
these pulls out. It's definitely not close enough to follow.
Well, as Dan's gonna
vibrate.
Swing and a miss.
Ooh, look at that. Those are sexy.
$5, man.
What?
$4.79.
Well, that's if you get 48.
Oh,
well, are those the
big black?
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
So yeah, so $5 a piece for 48. But when you start creeping into so what people do is that for festivals they'll have a VIP section, and they'll get 1,000 of the large version for VIP, and then they'll get the taster cups, which are priced completely differently than this, by the way, which are much cheaper. But they also require larger minimums, right? You can't get 48 taster cups, as an example. I think they start at $250 or something like that.
Yeah, the ones that the lager cups, they started at the 504 or something like that.
The taster.
Oops. Yeah.
The one I had you click on first.
Yeah. The one that you guys were having for the seltzer, not you.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Because I was complaining.
Did we get Denny? Denny just left. He's like, fucking, I'm going.
Denny's still here.
He didn't leave. What do you mean?
I don't see him.
No, you left. That's
here.
what happened. Now Tim left. I think you're confusing you and Tim with Denny.
Here. No, I don't see Denny. He's gone.
I see him.
I see him.
No, that's because he doesn't have a beard.
Hey! You don't see me? What? I'm right here.
There he is. Look at these fucking tasting cups.
I haven't gone anywhere. I'm trying to figure out how I can...
Here's Domino's. I see Domino's pulling up. I see the sign on the car.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Let me see. Let me give you a
I have to admit, tonight I might test the KFC that's
by your house.
Right next to my house.
Is it open? They're pulling in. They're like, where the fuck do I go?
Jinx.
Now Tim is waving them in. I see him waving the Domino's guy in like it's a 747 at Philadelphia International Airport.
Is he on the clock?
He's like, here it comes.
Dano, is Tim on the clock?
What does that mean?
Is he clocked in?
Currently
is he salaried? He's never mind. He's a salaried employee.
What does that mean?
He's a FTE.
He works for way too many hours.
Yeah.
Only sometimes. Because believe me, he's sleeping at work half the day. So this is this is catching up.
When part of his employee review is telling him that he can't vape so much in the office. And when people come into the office that he doesn't know, he comes into my office and asks if it's okay if he vapes or not.
Hey, I know Jill's here. Can I still
cool
vape?
Or not? Or you know what I mean, dude? Are you cool?
And then he's like,
by the way, I just saw Dazed and Confused last night with my wife. She had never seen that before.
Nuh-uh. Meredith never saw Dazed and Confused?
Is it Slater? Yeah. He's like, are you cool, dude? The guy's like, yeah, I'm cool. He's like, all right, man.
Meredith must have been dying over that one.
Yeah, she was surprised that, Domino's is leaving.
Bye.
Man, I'll tell you what, all these KFCs are closed. KFC closed at 11.
All right, so you guys ready to end the live stream here? Because it's definitely time to end this live stream.
All right, everyone.
Get in the live stream.
Have a great evening.
Have a great night.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining
We're getting some KFC, so we'll see you on the flip.
If it ends with a bucket of chicken, it was a good night.
That's
always
right.
good. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And we're
out. Wendy's, bro. Wendy's has late night menu.
Wendy's sucks, though. Their food is terrible. Yeah. I'd rather go to Taco Bell than Wendy's.
Taco?
That's right.
Honestly.
Taco?
Denny,
I don't think I have one of those close to me. Yeah, Denny, if you were driving home right now, right? So the show's over and you're like, blah, blah, blah. Like, where would you go and, grab
You're not like,
anything?
Hey, honey, make me a fucking
quesadilla.
Grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Make me a goddamn quesadilla.
So I don't eat fast food.
No.
Oh,
I don't blame you.
There's one bite. You know the rules.
Oh, that pizza's terrible.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
See, I don't eat fast food either, Denny. But right now I'm kind of hungry.
Oh my god!
If I go home, I have nothing. Right, so I'm either gonna go home to nothing, or I have to pick something up on the way home, and it's either a Wawa sub, which I'm really kind of over at this point.
Oh yeah.
I've had a lot of them. It's enough already.
Okay.
I'm on sub overload.
I can understand that.
Between Jersey Mike's and Wawa and
Nothing for you, Joel.
me.
Hold on.
So if I had to eat
24.
fast food, what I enjoy is Sonic.
Sonic?
Really? Okay, what do you get at Sonic?
I get their regular Sonic cheeseburger with mustard and tater tots and a cherry limeade.
Do you go through the drive-thru or do you go to the call-up window and have somebody
call up window and have them come skate out to my door?
They still are on skates, these motherfuckers?
Yeah, COVID doesn't ruin skating.
Can't get COVID on roller skates, Joe.
That's right. You're
Fauci
going too
said
fast.
so.
You're going too fast.
Sonic.
Dr. Not Ken Fauci.
Where's there a Sonic?
Del Mabry.
No Sonics in Florida?
No, we got plenty of them.
It's by the stadium. There's one by the stadium, but that's far from me. Hold on, I'm trying to see what.
It's the only fast food I do eat, and my wife allows me to have it once a year.
Yikes! There's one.
See, and you guys give me
closed. Shit. What? For what?
For what? What do we give you shit about?
Your wife or your girlfriend?
Yeah, that. You're like, oh, you gotta save up to make sure you buy presents for both of them.
No, that was me, not you guys. That was Joel.
Okay. It's
Chris,
starting to feel like
PTSD.
I want ownership of that shit. Get me an NFT on that, nigga.
I need an in-depth Dr. Phil interview.
That's fine.
Between you and I. About this whole situation.
Okay.
I want to do it Dr. Phil scripted out.
Dan, Chris, you have no idea the interest level that Dan has in this.
No, trust me, I'm aware because every time it comes up in
you
conversation.
don't know.
No, trust me.
And you still don't know. I'm
Okay.
trying to tell you that you think you know and you have no idea.
And
I
have no idea.
multiple level questions around this. And
Would you like to start now or do you want to wait?
No.
You might as well start now, dude.
I need to have a staged place where I can think
You
about
wanna
it.
Dr. Phil. He wants to do Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
You want to do a teaser question now, or you want to?
Dan's deep dive into Chris's menage a trois.
I need to understand this.
Well, he's really wondering about the girlfriend's boyfriend. That's what he's wondering.
No, you mean the girlfriend's husband.
There you go. That thing.
Oh my
See?
god.
See?
So open and
yeah. Yeah,
That's
that thing.
the fucking part I really want to drill down on.
Hey, was that guy in the video earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's loving this.
He's washing Chris's car right now.
Live to Facebook, everybody. I hope you're all watching.
Watching Chris's car.
What, you fucking think he trains dogs? He can't train people? He applies the same fucking techniques.
So listen, you're coming up with all these different
Some fucking
assumptions.
German term, and she does what she needs to do, and he does what he needs to do. I guarantee that's what happened.
Oh my god, this is too good. This is too good. It's like, so here's what I really talked about, Chris. My comment was, I have a hard time with like one relationship, like one person, like fucking hard.
Yeah.
And you're in a whole like, it's not even
dude,
like,
that's
it's
double
not
the
just
fucking
calling her a girlfriend is
Last
silly
fucking thing I
because
need.
this is like a lot of things all at once, and it's like, oh my god, like I don't even know how I would seriously. I don't think I could function every day. Never mind be handsome.
As a guy with a wife and 2 daughters, like
Fuck.
the last thing I want to see is another vagina.
Oh my god, I know, dude. Just stay away.
It's awful. It's too much.
No. Give me a male, unneutered dog.
With some balls. I want to see some fucking balls shaking around
Give
the
me some
house.
balls. Give me like, a hammock and half a steel drum, and that's what I got. Give me the fuck alone. And a broken radio and a fucking coconut. And some peace and fucking quiet.
Yeah. Well, you let me know when you're ready to talk.
This episode
Get warmed
brought
up
to you
on
by
this.
Domino's Pizza.
I really wanted to get down on this topic because I just want to understand, that element and how that all works.
Oh my god, if we were on Facebook Live, I would have muted myself like 5 minutes ago.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
You
we're
guys
not.
are all
Oh.
are you guys all cohabitating or what?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I
God.
really want to. That dude,
Oh my god.
we're not Scientologists.
No,
Okay, are you like the lead of the cult though?
I'm not. No. I just
no, it would be Latter Day
Hey, look,
Saints. It wouldn't be Scientology. It would be
Latter-day
LDS.
Saints,
It's
LDS.
Denny. That would be why Denny knows Chris because
LDS.
Actually,
he's
you know-
a transplant.
interestingly enough, Denny's actually learning about the full details of everything right
right
now.
meow.
Oh,
I know
right
he is
now.
because
I feel
Denny
bad
would
for
never
you.
ask, and Dan's got
Nope.
the cojones.
No, and that's the
Well,
one
you
thing I
leaked
like
that
about
shit.
Dan.
Denny's
I know.
known you
Leak
for
that
10
shit.
years
That
and he
became
still
fair
thinks you're
game.
single living
it's
in your
just-
mom's basement.
Yeah, we throw a little bit of bait, and maybe somebody
Chris
bites
is like,
nothing.
oh yeah, my girlfriend, and Dan's like, girlfriend, wife, whatever. And then finally he's like, oh, it's girlfriend and wife. Oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
Dun dun dun. Go, Timmy. Dun dun. He doesn't. He's
got it.
Thank you.
Now, just as long as we get that to stick, and we not have to worry about.
The secret is to.
God bless you, bud. That's a different
sound.
episode. But I would like to sit down. Little fireside chat. We could do it like Oprah and the Royals.
I tell you what. You know, you want to. You want
the Royals.
Balancing 2 relationships and animals.
Oh yeah, and a business and animals.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
Yeah. No, we'll do this at. You know, if you want to, we'll do this at the beer garden over a couple of beers next time you're here.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do it on Facebook Live.
I didn't say we had to, but we could go chill at the beer garden and have a couple of beers. You ask me all the questions you want.
Yeah,
he was about to the other day.
Too spicy for Facebook.
Okay, Dan, I want to tell you one thing. Don't ever hesitate to ask me questions about anything.
See?
He's
I told him.
I am an open book.
Unlike that guy outside in the parking lot, he couldn't even fucking close a book.
Let alone
read
a cover.
talking about?
The guy that went home alone tonight.
Yeah.
There was a guy in the parking lot.
In the Mazda.
Yeah, hatchback.
Oh, that guy. Poor guy.
The Maserati.
Yeah.
I like that, Chris.
For sure.
The Maserati.
The Mazda. I wish she rode me.
Oh.
What? Didn't you say they were old?
Middle-aged.
No,
I
they
would
were
say
middle-aged. Maybe cheating.
Well, I'm middle-aged. It's gross.
I would say 50s.
Who the fuck goes out on a Monday night? Who goes out on a Monday night?
For sushi.
Somebody not trying to get laid.
Somebody in hospitality.
Ooh,
I paid
yeah.
for the sushi. Can I get some sushi?
Tomorrow's their day off.
I was supposed to meet a girl tonight. It didn't work out.
Yeah? Why not?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Life, huh?
It wasn't even a date.
With us.
Honestly, it wasn't even a date.
You
It
stood
was
her up.
Match.com.
It was like a. Hey, we should
Only farmers.
we should meet up for a drink. Like, no, it's a J date.
There's no farm close by. Can be that.
J date.
J date.
J date with Joel.
And then the one here. Where's the one I want? Where's the one that I would like? This is. Eventually, something will happen here. I'm really taking my time on this one because she's a pain in my ass. But
Chris, I have this innate
she's just too
fascination
pretty.
with things that are 100% polar opposite from everything that I do. So
Sure.
that's why I was trying to dig in on that a little bit. But we'll get back to that if you're open to the in-depth
Bro.
discussion. I definitely don't want it on air, but
Dig in whenever you're ready.
I want to understand this dynamic, how it works. You know, who's the alpha, who's the omega, and all that type of stuff too. Cause
the alpha and omega.
There's a balancing act. It really is.
Boy, and that's what I'm saying. It is when there's two people. It's a balancing act.
Can you like smell when she was just with her husband?
Oh my god!
On the next episode.
All right. We're out on that.
I didn't even hear him. I didn't even hear it. Thank God.
Should that be an outtake?
The rule is that she must wash first.
Definitely not going to be an outtake now.
Get in the shower.
That one's going in.
Get in the shower.
FCC be damned. We don't care.
That's right. Welcome to the podcast world. Whatever you want to say, it's just completely fine.
Funny for our listeners, they thought Joey Redner was going to be the most interesting part of the podcast.
Guess what?
Little did they know.
We'll probably cut this all out. Nobody will ever see it. Just the four.
What do you mean, probably?
Wait, I gotta cut it out.
I mean, you don't have to.
Denny.
Yeah, thank you, Dave Coulier.
Denny will have it in the opening.
The pre-show.
That's right.
I'm going to start clickbaiting.
Yeah. I still have that note for 9 minutes in.
Family.
Yeah, meet all
family.
5 of us.
Here. Meet all 5 of them. Click here. but you only meet one at a time. You have to click 5 fucking times.
I was wondering if Chris was more like David Koresh, where he's like, if you want to get closer to God, you have to stop having sex with your wife so that I can have more sex with her.
Get closer to God. Closer to my cock.
Jesus Christ, Joel.
Well, it's been
What?
fun, ladies and gentlemen.
What? I can't talk about chickens on this show? Fuck you, buddy.
This is when our blood
And your
alcohol
perfectly
content
trimmed
level
beard.
gets too high, and we
Thank you for noticing.
I trimmed mine today, but you can't even tell because it's so
You did
gray.
not. No, you didn't.
I did though.
It is quite even. You can tell.
I had to do the right. I got every once in a while. I got to clean up the neck with the clippers because I don't do the razor. The razor kills me.
I know. Get you.
Denny, how long are you gonna stay clean shaven? What's the?
I'll stop shaving September 1st.
Why September 1st?
I knew you had a date. He's such an
the
engineer
day.
because he's a fucking engineer. Has to have. It was written down. See, look. Yes.
You have to have a date.
It's on his fucking Outlook calendar.
It's committed.
He's gonna get a
Start
Google
growing
reminder.
beard. Stop shaving today.
He's gonna pick up that razor and go, "Oh wait." Got the
Oh wait, it's
notification
September
today.
1st. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I do too.
So the
Right
reason
after
why
the fall
I do this
equinox, he's putting it back on.
is to remind me how much I hate shaving. So by September 1st, I'm ready to just let it grow.
Well, plus you can insulate your face from the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your chin's
When I-
gonna be
Cold here.
like darkness.
When I used to shave my face, I definitely did every other day, no matter what. Like I would never shave every day. I shaved every other day, just because I could. I
Yeah.
mean,
So I'm only shaving twice a week, because if I do it any more, it just like tears up my face. So I do twice a week.
really?
So he's baby face loose, no joke, huh?
So that's gonna be that's my new old man excuse, right? I'm getting older,
Yeah.
and every time I shave, it tears up my face.
Yeah.
It tears up my
Weird.
face, and I'm
Yeah, it
on
starts
blood
to remove-
thinners.
Yeah. it
Listen,
starts
Denny, I'm
removing your skin.
already complaining to them about my sinuses and my back, so I might as well just pile on and
Welcome.
I
Welcome.
thought
to
that
the
was a
club.
Jewish thing.
What, the sinuses?
Yeah. Oh, I
Everything.
can't breathe. My
I'm telling you,
back hurts.
I've heard that
My
before
back.
too. Is that really true though? Is the sinus thing really a Jewish thing, or is that like a?
I don't know. It's just
I don't know if it's a
Are you
shitty
implying they
stereotype
have
or.
big noses?
Well, I have-
Oh.
Joel asked me why it was a black thing earlier.
I have the worst sinuses. It's really terrible. And my Catholic father claims I inherited it from him, but maybe not. Dun dun dun.
Timmy, hit it.
Wait, oh, sorry, I wasn't paying.
Oh, thank God.
So disappointed.
No, look, he's in the middle of a
I know. I'm
Domino's
just kidding.
Adia.
Domino's-
Domino's,
in the NBA
it's
playoffs.
Domino's. It's Papadilla break. We got the NBA game on in the background here. Like, listen, you guys are in like the number 3 slot right now, right?
That's fair.
So we got New York Islanders 1.
Islanders pulled it out in
So it's
Boston.
3-2?
3-2 Islanders.
What an exciting series that is. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Brooklyn Nets just smoked who'd they play? Brooklyn Nets? The Nuggets. They just smoked the Nuggets.
Are they still in Denver?
I'm about to smoke some
Most
Nuggets
people
myself.
smoke nuggets, actually.
I see what you did there. Blah, 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 blah. Smoking nugs. Denny's like,
Yeah, I'm
what?
gonna be like Kevin Durant in a second.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna fall asleep to watching Get
Smart.
Get hard.
Hard.
Get
Okay.
Shorty.
God,
There
it's
you go.
fucking hilarious.
That is fun.
Okay. That's the surprise. If
Have you ever
I
seen
learned
Malibu's
anything
Most
tonight,
Wanted? It's
oh my
much
God.
like Malibu's Most Wanted.
Malibu's Most Wanted is one of my favorite movies.
They call
Of
me
course
White
it
Kong.
is.
Holy shit!
Of course it is.
No, seriously, I didn't even know what I was watching. And when I first started watching that movie, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole life!" Like
Probably the best
B-Rad,
movie that was-
fucking
what's his face?
B-Rad. Are you kidding,
The only
Denny? Have
movie
you
ever
seen this
made.
Yeah,
movie?
it's the only movie ever made. That's right.
Denny, it's-
Admittedly, Joel or Denny would turn it. Denny, you'll turn it off in like the first 10 minutes.
For sure.
You really
Willie,
would.
Yeah, it's
I think
so
you would.
corny.
It's corny and
it's Jamie
stupid.
Kennedy though. I don't know.
Well,
It's funny.
That's not saying much.
It's the same premise for Get Hard, except for Will Ferrell. The storyline is Will Ferrell is going to jail, and he hires Kevin Hart, who was his car, washed his car in the garage. Because Kevin Hart's black.
Yeah.
To show him how to get hard before he goes to jail.
Sorry, here.
I
In
have seen that.
2014, I
I've
saw
seen it.
Jamie Kennedy live in the basement of some shitty fucking nightclub in New York City.
And it was awesome, huh?
He's not doing so well. I mean, it was a free show, and I probably could have skipped it. So
No.
Nowadays, you mean?
no, this was like post his career in that movie.
That's what I mean. Well, he was a
Post-Malibu.
writer. He wasn't really.
several years post Malibu.
He's
It was
he's like the writer
I didn't
type.
even know who he was.
He wrote that movie. That was totally his
Oh really?
shit.
No,
Oh
shit.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, Jamie Kennedy's a writer. He's not like
Yeah.
if you look up his credits, it's not for
He was on
acting.
SNL, or was he on?
No,
Mad
he had
TV
his
or
own
one of those
thing.
two?
Didn't he have a Jamie Kennedy show on MTV or
I was gonna
something
say
like
he
a
had
sketch
something.
show?
Nothing's funnier on the sketch
I hear
show
Chris, what's Chris looking?
than Tosh.0.
Yeah, I did like Tosh.0.
Oh, who's that? Is your girlfriend?
Denver and Phoenix
No.
game's going pretty good.
Oh. Is that my girlfriend?
No. My girlfriend sent this to me.
Phoenix
Which
knocked
one?
out the Lakers.
We can't see her. It's
I
blinding
know.
light.
I'm working on it. God
Just like
damn
all
it,
the females
Jesus!
Put
in
your
your
whole
life, it's
hand
just a
behind the whole
giant
phone and
blinding
try
light.
again.
I'm trying to help here, and you guys are just.
I know, but what is it?
It's a video
Of a hot girl.
So,
Chris doesn't have any kids, right?
liberating.
That answers it.
Not that I'm aware of,
Yeah,
I mean, but who the fuck knows with this guy?
He has one daughter. He's like, all right, I gotta consolidate this shit. I can't.
I mean, I have no clue with Chris. I could put him. He could have one daughter. He could have
Who knows?
5 kids. He
Yeah,
could
there's like
have-
5 ghost children out there. All
I
little
have no
Mackenzies
idea.
out there.
He could be a sperm donor. I have no clue.
These little like 12-foot kids that are like 7 years old.
Yeah, they would be tall. They would be tall.
A man's brain goes, don't scare her.
He could be the
Oh,
son
it's
of.
Tom Segura. That's why
Tom
it's funny.
Segura talking over
this
Nikki
dumb
Glaser.
bitch.
He could be
I
the
am so
secret
sick. Thank
love
God we're on
child of the
Facebook
green,
Live. You
Jolly
know what?
Green Giant.
I am so sick of these dumb hot bitches on TikTok. This shit is fucking infectious.
That's
and
Nikki
it's really
Glaser.
stupid. I don't give a fuck who that is.
She's
Nikki
a
Glaser.
comedian.
Whatever.
I know
don't
Nikki
care. These hot
Glaser's a
chicks on
comedian.
TikTok
Why
are
is she
spraying
doing
whatever.
Tom Segura's shit on
Because
TikTok?
Tom Segura is
Why?
hilarious too.
No, she's doing Tom Segura shit on TikTok for
Segura's not
fucking
funny.
fans because
Yeah.
she's not as funny as him. So she's doing a Tom Segura bit. It's fucking
I
stupid.
thoroughly
It's like these
Segura
girls who are
is-
they're all dancing with their hips and they're all.
Tom Segura
listen,
is just basically me standing on a stage giving my actual life to people and then them laughing at me. Like, that's Tom Segura being funny. Like, he's just self-depreciating humor. And
But he-
That's deprecating, by the way.
it's deprecating and
Thank
it's
you,
way more
self-deprecating.
complicated.
I think they're
It's
the
way more
same
complicated
thing.
than that really simplistic
Pretty
view
sure
that you just gave
self-depreciating
of
is a
Tom
word,
Segura.
but maybe not.
If you depreciate,
Self-depressing.
Deprecate.
don't depreciate my
I'm self-depreciating. Don't you worry about my
The
English.
self-decapitation.
Don't self-decapitate if
That
you
shit's
don't
ignorant.
depreciate on my membrane, okay?
You were
Theo!
sounding like a little Bill Cosby there.
Shake it low.
Sassa frickin' frackin'
I'm just gonna give you this little pill and then shoot on your face.
So guys,
you
how was
like
the
that.
Dominoes? How was the Dominoes?
I'm a doctor.
Heartburn City.
Don't worry, I'm a PhD. The D stands for dick in your mouth.
D stands for Domino's Pizza.
No DP of the Dominoes.
Hey, I ordered the DP for
I ordered the
our
DP.
meeting later tonight. It is the Domino's Pizza. It does not have anything to do with my dildo that I have in my bag and my dick.
I like how conservatives used to share shit a lot. They're like, see, here's a conservative black man that everyone can understand and take as a role model, and then he fucking rapes a bunch of chicks. They're like, whoa.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Reel that back in. Reel that back
Yeah,
in.
everyone, remove that from YouTube. All that yeah.
Kill the pudding jokes.
Look, Tim got the backspin. I
He
like
did.
that.
He did. Hit it again, Tim.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
Press the buttons, monkey boy.
Oh, can we get? Okay, I have a request. One request. I'm not going to overload you. I want one request, and it's the in that vein, the car brakes, right? Like the. Do you have it?
No.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I just have the car hitting someone.
No, I want like.
I need the brakes.
Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
I'll get
hit
the brakes,
anything. It just screeches, right? It's the same thing. It's like the.
After
it's like
911, called 411. 411 pain.
Morgan
right.
and Morgan, man. That's
Oh,
who you
Morgan, I was
fucking
just
call.
gonna
You
say
call
Morgan and
fucking
Dude,
Morgan and Morgan.
Have you guys
What?
watched him on Instagram? John Morgan in 60 seconds, the clips
With
he
the
does?
whole,
Oh, man,
Jesus, and
Oh,
Jesus came
no.
to me and he says,
No,
you
no,
need
no,
to
no.
help people. They
John
got hit
Morgan?
by a car.
John Morgan is hilarious. I want to
Wait a
meet that
minute.
guy.
Oh,
Well,
he's some type of
he's a
comedian.
weed smoker.
Yeah. Well, John
He has
Morgan.
3 DUIs. John
Good for
Morgan.
him.
Yes, he does.
Great.
We're talking
Not
about
one,
the
not
lawyer.
2, but 3.
Yeah.
This is now morphed into Action Bronson watches Ancient Aliens.
You
right
guys,
now.
you guys should absolutely
That's what
follow him.
That is right now what our podcast is.
Yo,
I'm eating
the
fucking
first time-
Dominoes
here's
with the
my
game
secret.
on, commentating.
Here's my secret. I got 2 in a row. Number 1, I've never done mushrooms. Number 2, when I do it, I'm gonna watch Action Bronson. What is the name of this show?
For you.
Number
what-
3, call Tanky Tim at 1-800.
Hey Tim, no offense,
fun
but
guy,
I don't need Tanky Tim for that. I got
FUNGI.
plenty of people who can give me some mushrooms. But I also want to watch Action Bronson. What was it, Danny's? Oh
Action Bronson watches Ancient Aliens.
my God, have you seen the show Ancient Aliens, Danny?
No.
So it's a
Everything is
History
aliens.
Channel show, and it's really stupid because it portends that everything you're watching is alien based.
There's like 3 guys on there that legitimately look like the kind of kid that stuck their hand in the light socket.
It's like it's just silly.
Or 2 of them are from Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
And,
so Action Bronson.
I don't know the history behind it. Aliens.
Action Bronson is a fucking nobody.
They're like, is that Henny?
Became a somebody, and he's a big fat dude who just smokes weed all day. So they got this idea. He like has a guest on. He had Earl. Jameel.
Yeah, he had Steve.
What's his name?
Steve Urkel.
Steve Urkel. So he has Steve Urkel on the fucking show. Okay,
smoking a
and
blunt.
they all smoke weed, and then they watch this show, Ancient Aliens, and then they react to the show, and the show is like zoomy.
Money.
It's all very psychedelic the way they even zoom in and out. It is the
I
worst
love
show
that.
ever. You have to be high to watch this show. So I am gonna do mushrooms, and I'm gonna watch Action Bronson. I think it's the right combo.
Can you
I
please
really
do that while we're on the podcast, though? You know,
Maybe.
No, just mute yourself and just sit there. And we'll have you on.
I don't want to trip out, bro. I need set and setting.
No, I want
here.
you to just forget we're watching you and just
Maybe
sit
the
there and
5th
watch your
time.
show.
Hey, let me drop mushrooms a few times before it's my, maybe not the first time. Maybe the 5th time I'll do that.
We'll work that out.
All right, guys. Well, it is.
It is 11.
It's currently 11 o'clock here. The Tampa.
I gotta
witching
pee.
hour.
I gotta go home. I
I've
gotta
got to
fart.
go take care of my wife and girlfriend and significant other and,
And 4 other 7 people.
And my
Yeah.
8
and
daughters.
four
and
other
my
sex
4
slaves
female
I have
cats.
locked in the closet.
There's currently 2 bunk beds in my master bedroom right now.
Hey, those have been beneficial. I'm gonna tell you, it was.
3 gimps, 2 boyfriends, and a
3
partridge in a pear
gimps, a
tree.
zipper mask, 1 peg leg.
We
a
don't
parrot,
do leather. Let's just say that.
3 bunnies and
Satin sheets.
satin sheets, rubber sheets. All right, gotta go.
And a pink dildo. I'll see you later. Chef! All right, Chef. Thank you, Chef, for playing us out.
Thanks, Chef.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Later. Peace.
Love, peace, and hair grease. You guys are great. Talk to you later.